on the Georgia Gang Facebook page and watch past episodes on the Georgia Gang YouTube channel.
Federal cuts to higher ed are raising concerns across Georgia, but Chancellor Sonny Perdue says don't panic just yet. He's leaning on his connections in the Trump administration to push back on the proposed research funding cuts and says there's still room to protect innovation and keep Georgia's colleges strong. Brian, why don't you weigh in?
This is going to be a bigger conversation. Obviously, Chancellor Perdue has got deep relationships with the Trump administration. So if there is any chancellor or president of a university in the entire country that's going to be able to have a good back and forth with the administration.
We're not Harvard.
No, we are certainly not. It's finally playing to our benefit here, right? Sonny Perdue makes some really good points about the importance of federal funding in our university system, delivering things that we all appreciate, like GPS, the internet. These are things that where the government made investments in university and our smart people got together and did life-changing things. So it is important. At the same time, the Trump administration does understand that we've got to bend the cost curve in federal government. So what Sonny Perdue said was also, look, this isn't eliminating, this is reducing, and that's something we all need to live with.
Melita?
Well, I think the phrase keep calm and carry on was a lot more convincing when uttered by the late Queen Elizabeth of England.
Okay.
Well, real quick. Let's look at what's being cut. This whole so-called diversity, equity, bureaucracy in the university system over 26 colleges needs to be cut out. That's millions of dollars right there.
All right, well, despite big spending on ads, brochures, and community events, enrollment in the Pathways to Coverage program still lags far behind targets. And now critics in the WABE story are questioning whether the state's partnerships with Deloitte, the same firm that designed and manages the program, is delivering results or just draining taxpayer dollars. Alicia, you mentioned this issue in Winners and Losers a couple of weeks ago. This was a $10 million contract, and critics say that there's really little to show when it comes to marketing this program.
Yeah, I would say there's nothing to show. Actually, this has been a colossal failure. $250,000 a month for them to hand out brochures, $300,000 a month for them to produce a report about what they did or didn't do. $51 million as of December 31st to manage Pathways. I mean, the millions of dollars just keep piling on. And as I said a couple of weeks ago, and they'll be my loser every single week, you know, Republicans are talking about they want to get rid of fraud, waste, and abuse. This has got to be the biggest example of fraud, waste, and abuse in our state. Millions upon millions of dollars. And by the way, their results so far, from 2% enrollment to less than 3% enrollment. That is a problem. They need to be investigated. All the time we see Republicans running to the Capitol to pre-file legislation. Here's a great idea. Let's file a bill that holds these kinds of companies accountable, that there's a system in place that when you don't meet the numbers that you say you're going to meet, that you get money taken away from you. These are taxpayer dollars. And we ought to be concerned that first and foremost, we have hundreds of thousands of people who are not being enrolled in health care. That's what this is really about. And we should also be deeply concerned about the tax dollars that are being wasted here.
Phil, I'm getting 10 seconds here.
Okay, I'm glad you're giving some accurate information right now. But anyhow, I agree. I agree with you on this. I think this could have been done far better. Marketing and communications. He could have had other vendors. It could have been his taxpayers' money. It could have been done far better.
One sentence.
I think it was a very pricey PR contract for making chicken salad out of chicken other parts.
Okay, we'll leave it there because Alicia and Phil are agreeing, so that's a good way to end on this block. Coming up, winners and losers, stay tuned.
Time now for the week's winners and losers.
Brian, we'll start with you.
All right, my losers this week have to be the State House Democrats, who have Stacey Abrams out on a listening tour with them this week. And going into the election cycle, Georgians have rejected her twice, and I think they aren't changing their minds.
Alicia.
My winner this week, Leah Ward Sears, who has been appointed the interim president of Emory University. I cannot imagine a more accomplished and prepared leader, so congrats to Emory University. I also want to make Representative Carpenter my winner. Thank you for your leadership. Regardless of the parties that we serve in, standing up for what's right is always the right thing to do.
Phil.
Well, I've got a book for summer reading. It's a murder mystery novel. It's done by Everett Hall. That's the pen name of a prominent Atlanta attorney, John Hall. It's Murder at the Yacht Club. You can get it on Amazon. So that is my winner.
I picked up my copy. It looks good. It looks like a great summer read.
I'll make sure you all get a copy.
Okay, Melita.
Well, I can agree with you on the winner of Leah Ward Sears. That'll be a great choice for Emory. My loser is President Donald Trump for his last weekend commencement speech at West Point. He broke the cardinal rule of commencement speeches, which is keep it short and remember it's about the graduates, not your ego. And his discussion of trophy wives and yachts was totally inappropriate. And interestingly, they whisked him away real quickly so that the new commissioned officers didn't have to break the West Point honor code by shaking the hand of a convicted felon.
Okay, we'll leave it there, folks. We will see you again next week. Bye-bye.
For all
Hello, welcome back to Fox 5 News Now. I'm your host for the next couple of hours, Judea Murray. Thank you for choosing to stream with us here on Fox Local, YouTube, anywhere else that you are able to pick up our stream. There are a lot of things happening around the metro Atlanta area today, and actually we have been following some breaking news out of Snellville. Our reporter Alexa Liaco found out a couple of teens were injured in a shooting. Alexa, you're there now. What can you tell us about what you found out?
Hey, good morning. So the GBI is assisting Snellville police in this investigation. So we're outside of their headquarters this morning. They're putting out a call to the community for help. They're looking for tips to try and find all of the people that were out at Briscoe Park last night. Police let us know this happened just after 9 o'clock Saturday night. There were a couple groups of teens in the park, and we spoke with a witness who said that he saw those two groups of teens start kind of rushing at each other and then heard loud arguing. And that's what he said. He knew that the situation was really going to escalate. So he went running and then hit the ground behind a brick wall and actually had to take cover. 4 teens, we know, ages 14 to 17 years old, were actually shot and taken to the hospital. We're still working to confirm their conditions and the status of those wounds. If any of those teens needed surgery, we're not sure at this point. But we do know that this is an active investigation, and Snellville police have not announced if they've made any arrests at this point, but they did want people to know the threat to public safety is over. So they perhaps know who they need to track down. They just need to track down specific people. So those are the details that we're working to confirm this morning with police.
Alexa, thank you so much for keeping us updated on this. Hopefully we hear something pretty soon, but otherwise we'll check back with you later. Now, like I said, there are a lot of things happening around the metro Atlanta area, aside from some of the destruction and devastation. we actually have some cool events happening this weekend. And we want to join Eli Jordan, who's out at the Renaissance Festival. This is actually the last day, right, Eli?
Hey, good morning, Judea. Yes, it is the last day of the Georgia Renaissance Festival. I'm here at the Village of Newcastle, and everybody's getting geared up for the final day. And I'm here with Dave Durrell, who is the Marketing and Entertainment Manager. And he's been the Marketing and Entertainment Manager, been part of the festival for 27 years now, haven't you?
27 years, yeah.
And so tell me, just what's the vibe like today? It's the last day, how are you
Last
guys
day?
doing?
It's interesting because the energy level goes way up on the last day. Everyone's excited about having everybody in. It's usually a busy day, so everyone is ready to go out and have a great time.
And so if you guys are not quite sold out yet, are you?
Not yet.
And
Not
so
yet.
if people are trying to figure out something they want to do today, what would you suggest they do if they want to come out and check this out?
Well, the first thing they need to do is go online and get their tickets and then head on out. We are open today 10:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. So even if you arrive at noon, there's still plenty of time to enjoy all the food and the fun and shopping. The great entertainment we have 11 different stages with nonstop entertainment all day long. And of course, everyone loves to get the giant turkey legs. So that's sort of our signature food item.
And how long has this been going on? This is the last weekend. This is the last day today. But
Right.
how long have you guys been cranking it out this year?
This is our 40th anniversary this year.
40th anniversary.
40
and,
years.
And so how long has this year's festival been going on?
We've been going on since April 12th, and we run for 8 weekends.
Awesome.
So it's a total of 17 days, including Memorial Day Monday.
And, you guys, yesterday you were sold out. I mean, this is popular. I mean, this is going to...
Yes.
People come to this.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, over the last few years, we've seen the attendance really grow. So it's been great.
As I mentioned before, you've been part of the festival for 27 years. But this is not only the festival's last day, but this is your last day as being
Yes,
part of
it
the
is.
festival, yes?
It is, yep, heading off into retirement.
And so how does it feel? I mean, is it kind of, bittersweet? Tell me
Oh,
about it.
absolutely. Every last day of every season is that way. You go around giving hugs to everybody because you're not going to see them probably for a year. But then there's also that relief of like, whew, it's the last day.
And you don't have the, I guess it's a big responsibility. I mean, this is a big festival. A lot of work goes into it, correct?
It really is. Yeah, we we work year round, but we really kick into high gear around the end of December or 1st of January every year.
Gotcha. And how many vendors would you say you have here?
Oh, I bet we've got, this season, we've got close to 180 vendors.
And what about entertainment?
Entertainment, we've got 30 some different acts every day. And then, of course, you'll meet all of our residents of the Village of Newcastle. And there's about 60 of them, the folks that live in the village. And then we always await the arrival of the king and his royal court. They'll be here this morning.
And you also have jousting, too. That's
We
something
do,
that-
3 times a day.
Jousting. So you got, that's not happening. It's what? First one's at 11:30?
11:30, 2:30, and 5:30 every day, yeah.
And there's acrobatic acts and things like that, too, right?
Absolutely. Jugglers, acrobats, musicians, comedians. We've got a really wide range of talent.
And so, things for the kids are here.
Oh, yeah.
Things for the adults. I mean, they can get a turkey leg and then also have a nice little beer.
Right? They can
and
do the
chill out
pub
with
crawl.
a glass of wine or something like that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is just all around, just complete, covers all the family, everything, doesn't it?
It really is. The unique thing about the festival is you can come out with your adult friends, have a great experience. You can come out with your family, have a different but equally great experience, or come out as a couple. It's just, something for everybody, really.
Cool. Awesome. Well, Judea, as you heard, it's the last day of the festival. And, it's been going on for 40 years here. It's Dave's last day, too. And they open up at 10:30. They're not quite sold out yet. You can go online. Dave, give me that website address one more time, please.
It's www.garenfest.com.
Right there, www.garenfest.com. You can go there and see if they still have tickets. It's $32 per person. You can sign up there, come on out, and enjoy the last day of the 2025 Georgia Renaissance Festival here at the Newcastle Village.
Hey, Eli, thank you. So, I just want to tell everybody who's out there streaming, as you heard, the festival hasn't opened just yet. So this is really the calm before the storm, but it gets really, really packed out there. And I was doing a little bit of research. This weekend's theme is Flights of Fantasy. So you're probably going to see a lot of woodland pixies and fairies and witches out there? Because a lot of people dress up. They have fun with this.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I'm excited to see it. This is my first time out here. I hate to admit. So yeah, I'm excited to see it. It's calm before the storm. We still have about an hour and 15 minutes before gates open up.
Yeah, I feel like it's one of those popular things in Georgia that everybody talks about, but if you aren't in the know and you don't make the effort to go, it's a shame. But I mean, we get to see what it'll be like, and for those of you out there streaming with us, maybe it'll be something you're interested in. But Eli, thank you for giving us a sneak preview.
No problem, Judea.
All right, so let's
see you about an hour.
Yes, see you in about an hour. So let's bring back into the studio because I'm looking outside the window, and for the first weekend in I think maybe a month or so, it is completely clear. I don't want to jinx myself. So just in case, we're going to check in with Fox 5 Storm Team meteorologist Alex Forbes on the latest in the forecast. Alex.
Yeah, good morning, Judea. I tell you what, it's dry outside, and that's what we've got going for us through the weekend. We had completely dry conditions yesterday, something similar today with just, okay. Just let me know if you can hear me now. How about now? Anybody? Anybody? Hello, hello? Alex's mic, hello. We'll see if we can get it. We do have some nice conditions out there. Maybe, maybe not. Hello?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Alex, yes, I do hear you now.
Okay. Are we on?
He's asking me questions. Yes, we're good.
So you can hear me?
I can't hear you, but our team does. We're good. You can continue the forecast.
Okay. Hello. How's it going? A live look over downtown. Thanks for bearing with us through some technical issues. Okay. So the hotel district looking pretty nice right now. We're at 68. By the time we get to the noon hour, 76 going to be the number. 82 as we work our way towards the 6 o'clock hour and into the evening tonight with a 20% chance of some scattered showers. So there we go with the clouds, the radar, the temperatures. 68 in Atlanta, as I said, 66 over in Covington, 66 in Athens, 68 in Eatonton, 56 in Blue Ridge. Zoom out, look across the southeast, some storms rolling into the Dallas area, and that's about it as we track this here over the next little bit. 70 in Jackson, 67 in Memphis, and 70 over in Charlotte. Now, through the day today, by the time we get to the 10 o'clock hour, I expect to break into the 70s, and then we're not going to stop there. We're going to get into the upper 70s and low 80s. With a breeze out of the west-northwest at 5 to 10 miles an hour. Notice that cloud cover around as well. That's going to be a noticeable change from yesterday. We didn't really see clouds yesterday. Instead, what we saw was that smoke from the Canadian wildfires. That's still going to be with us today. I'll show you that here in just a moment. 82 in Atlanta this afternoon, 82 in Covington, 83 in Athens. We'll say partly to mostly cloudy. Then into the night tonight, this is where things get a little interesting. 63 here in Atlanta, 60 in Canton. Notice that cloud cover is on the decrease. But we are going to have the chance, and I want to emphasize the word chance there, to see the northern lights potentially across parts of north and central Georgia. We've got a geomagnetic storm going on right now on Earth. We saw the northern lights come as far south as New Mexico through the overnight hours, so we'll be on the lookout for that tonight, and we'll be talking more about that coming up here in a little bit on Fox Local. I expect that Canadian smoke to hang around today, hang around through the night tonight and through tomorrow. I don't think the smoke is going to prohibit us from seeing the northern lights. There are several areas that have the smoke over it that did see the northern lights last night, so it might hinder it a little bit, but I don't think it's going to completely eliminate the chance here across the area. So some scattered showers through the day today, some high-level clouds, and as I mentioned, those get out of here through the overnight hours and into tomorrow. There we go at the midnight hour. And as we work our way through the overnight, there we go down into the low 60s. For tomorrow, some more scattered showers with that rain chance at about 20%. Then for the rest of the week, we should be dry really Tuesday and Wednesday. By the time we get to Thursday and Friday, I think that's when we build in that summertime shower and storm activity across the area. So 82 for today, 85 for tomorrow, 87 and 88 for Tuesday and Wednesday. Those are dry days by terms of rain chances, but by the time we get towards Thursday and Friday, that's going to be building in a chance of storms Friday at 30%, Saturday at 40%. Judea, the humidity is going to be on the rise this week, and I think that's going to be what a lot of people notice as well.
Thanks, Alex. Thank you so much. All right, well, let's bring you back to the studio real quick. I want to prep you for something you're going to see in the next couple of minutes. We have an awesome investigative piece coming up. Imagine this. You have done all the right legwork to get your dream home Then you move in and all of a sudden everything goes to, you fill in the blank right there. We spoke with Fox 5's I-Team reporter Dana Fowle about this luxury builder who's facing some action in court. We'll be right back after this break.
Michael Muffley in court was the end of 2022, so it's been a minute, and it was an unusual case. This is a builder to some of Atlanta's more well-to-do, and he was charged criminally with conversion of payments. Now, his clients claim they would pay him for a build, but sometimes that money would go to other contracts and construction, and then the case didn't really move much. Again, it was 2022 until this happened.
Good morning, Mr. Muffley.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Home builder Michael Muffley appeared in Fulton County Superior Court from a virtual location. His attorney spoke for him in person at his arraignment hearing.
Wait formal.
All right,
and that was that. He passed on a public plea and having criminal charges officially read to the court. Mr. Muffley had previously been indicted for conversion of payments for real property improvements, a felony. His former clients claimed he took a lot of money from them and didn't use it toward their home build.
I have never profited from Muffley Homes.
The last time the Fox 5 I-Team saw him in court was November 2022, and then he talked a lot.
I've been in Atlanta 22 years. I've been in real estate the entire time.
According to state records, he is still a realtor, but his company, Muffley Homes, has administratively dissolved. But at the time, it was advertised as Master Luxury Builders offering full design build services.
I'm not an accountant. I'm not a licensed builder. What I did is I made an attempt to put all of the pieces of the puzzle together, and I count on other people to do what I hire them to do.
He would buy the lots, hire the architects, facilitate the financing, then hire the contractors. He dealt with high-end buyers with high-end expectations.
Because we had so many issues with past builders, what was to create a more transparent system.
But how he ran his program got him arrested at the end of that hearing. His client, Casey Asarch, at the time testified to fuzzy accounting, not transparency.
Muffley account was drained and emptied by the time we terminated our contract.
Between the pandemic backlog and Fulton County's busy docket, it's been 2.5 years since his first court appearance. But in that time, there have been two other big developments. In March 2024, he sued his one-time bookkeeper who testified for the prosecution.
The money was taken out of the Asarch's job account and then placed into another client's job account.
Muffley claims she stole his personal property, downloaded files, took trade secrets, mishandled duties, and more, causing him to lose clients. He also accused her of defamation. There are no court records that showed she defended herself, so the judge ordered a default judgment. Michael Muffley was awarded $3.2 million. The judgment, it reads, is based upon the evidence heard and for good cause shown. The Fox 5i team reached out to Ms. Adams for comment, but we did not hear back. A month later, Muffley's company, MDM Opportunity Ventures, filed for bankruptcy. The ASarches are among 45 listed creditors. Mr. Muffley is expected back in court in September.
You can be excused, sir, unless you need to speak to your attorney, but you can be excused at this particular time and enjoy the rest of your day, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
That is a whirlwind of a story that you had there, Dana.
Right. And, you know, it's been one of those stories that's been going on for years for us because, you know, like I'm thinking I'm going back to 2022, earlier than that, where we were getting a lot of folks who had their house built through the Muffley home system calling us saying they had questions about the quality of the homes. And we did a story with a family that talked about the quality of their home, and that home is now being disassembled in some way and reassembled. Now, I can't tell you if it was because of the Muffley home or because of I think they were having problems with the windows, but it was part of the whole system. But, they felt like Mr. Muffley was the overseer of that project. But what you're seeing for this one is a criminal case, which was altogether different and very unusual when you talk about a builder to file criminal charges or ask a judge to take a look at this criminally. So it was very different.
Yeah, this is a lot. Speaking of the criminal charges, what are the charges?
It's a conversion of payments is what it is. And what the client, Casey Asarch, said in court was that they paid Muffley Homes X amount of dollars and expected that money to be used on their project and their project alone. They alleged, and the bookkeeper said and supported in her testimony, that some of that money went to other projects. Mr. Muffley disputed that and said it didn't happen that way, but it was a warrant hearing and the judge found enough evidence there to arrest him for a conversion of payment.
Dana, is it normal for it to take so long to go from the charge to the hearing?
And that is a really good question, because when it came back up, we were like, oh my goodness, we kind of had put this in the back of our minds. No, this isn't traditionally how this works. Now, this was coming out of COVID, backlogs in courts. That was a terrible problem. And this was in Fulton County. And there were a lot of things going on in Fulton County. Fulton County had sort of a natural backlog system anyway. And the courts also wanted to get to things that were a lot more pressing in terms of public safety, that sort of thing. So this wasn't the highest on the list. Additionally, Fulton County at the time, the district attorney's office was very, very busy with pursuing at the time, former President Donald Trump and those cases, and that took precedent, and the manpower and the woman power there focused on that. That case is out of the way. Some of the backlog is now loosened up, so these things are moving forward. So it is odd that in 2022 you have an arrest, but it's not till end of 24, I believe, that there was an indictment, and now we're having this warrant hearing here at the end of spring. So that is a long time, and it is unusual, but according to the judge, things would be moving forward this summer.
Okay, well, that's good to know, and of course, I'm assuming you'll be staying on top of things.
We will, and I'm sure, the Asarches, the family, I'm sure they'd like to get this moving, and I'm sure Mr. Muffley would also like to get this moving too, and everybody would like some sort of resolution.
I'm sure. Well, I heard you call Muffley a high-end builder. What does that mean?
There were these glossy, beautiful advertisements, and these homes were absolutely advertised there, were absolutely stunning. And the exterior of some of the homes you would see that he participated, his group, in the building of were amazing homes looking from the outside in. They were the dream home, and they were very, very expensive. And part of what he promised to do was I mean, he'll tell you he wasn't a licensed contractor himself. He is a licensed realtor. So what he said he wanted to do was create this sort of umbrella company where he would, help facilitate all of the processes, which would be buying the land, the real estate transaction, assisting in finance, getting a builder, and bringing the whole project together. And he would sort of oversee how this would work. So it allowed for the home buyer to just sit down at a table and sort of knock it all out and be promised these sort of high-end values, which meant they had some high-end expectations.
Well, so he's not just in court, as I understand, for other people and their accusations. He's also sued.
Indeed. And this has really been an interesting twist. He had a bookkeeper at the time who had said to many folks that she questioned how he did business, and she was not comfortable with how he did business. In the warrant hearing, she was there on behalf of the A Sarches to talk about what she saw as a bookkeeper. The judge felt what she said was true enough, at least on the surface, that they could move forward with this warrant and eventually arrest him that day, technically book him. Go down the road a little bit, Michael Muffley sues her for a whole variety of things. And I sort of wrote this down because it's a lot. He claims she stole his personal property, downloaded files, took trade secrets, mishandled duties, a whole lot more, which caused him to lose client and defamation of character. And so there was a default judgment. He wins $3.2 million, something like that. And what that traditionally means is the person who is accused puts up no fight, puts up no legal fight, just doesn't respond, doesn't answer. We have called her to see, what the process was, what her response is, and she has not returned our calls. But we, in looking through the court records, can find no evidence of her sort of putting up a legal fight or a legal argument. So when that happens, you have someone like Michael Muffley who will come back in and say, okay, like where do we go from here? And the judge can issue a default judgment, meaning you've said these things, they were not disputed, so now we will give you the judgment in default. And that's what appears to have happened here. There was a default judgment. Okay. So it's a hefty amount of money.
It is. It is. I was just going to clarify, just to be clear, we don't have any evidence that she has admitted to anything.
That's right.
It's just
yes. There was no evidence that she admitted to any of these things. Mm-hmm. She just, according to court documents, appeared to not put up a legal fight.
Well, like I said, this is a lot.
That's a lot of money, and now he's going to have to collect that. Now, how do you collect it?
Yeah.
There's bank levies, they could put a lien on her property, they could garnish her wages. There are a whole lot of ways that you could go through this process. A lot of people don't have $3.2 million lying around.
No.
So, and this is, I'm not speaking to her case because I don't know how her case will work, but if someone, sued me for $3 million and I didn't have it, they could put a lien on my home. So let's say I had a $3 million farm or something like that, or land, and I sold that, this person could take that profit themselves just to get their legal judgment. It's a legal judgment. Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, it is. It is.
This whirlwind of a cases.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, I mean, with all the things that he is facing and trying to deal with it and juggle, is he still in business?
I talked to one of his lawyers who said no. Now, he didn't expand on that, but we looked in state records, and he does have an active realtor's license.
Okay.
But Muffley Homes, this particular company that we have focused on, has filed for bankruptcy. My understanding through his attorney is that's no longer a functioning company. Now, I've asked Mr. Muffley if we could talk to him specifically about it, and he said he's not available for comment. And I understand he's in litigation and all sorts of things are going on. So he is, if you Google his name does come under a completely different company with another group. Now, is he still working with that group? I don't know. Is it related in any way? Doesn't appear to be, but I'm not exactly sure. But Muffley Homes, that group has filed for bankruptcy. His attorney says that's no longer a working group, one of his attorneys, and but he does have an active realtor's license.
Okay. And as far as we know, both sides are not responding with some of the questions that you have.
That's right. I mean, we asked. He picked up the phone when I called, and I said, "Hey, can we chat about this?" And he's like, "I can't right now. Maybe I'll talk to my lawyer." I didn't hear back. He has a series of lawyers. I talked to one of them, not the criminal, but the civil attorney, and we went back and forth on email and chatted a little bit. And he said, he's just not this company's just not actively available anymore.
Okay.
So.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, thank you for breaking down this particular case.
Yeah. It's one of those that it's when we go back and talk about this case, it started years ago, but it seems to be moving again.
And some of the stories that you mentioned that you have covered since about 2022, we do still have available on Fox Local and fox5atlanta.com if you'd like to.
Yeah, and they would be on the iTeam shelf, so you can go in there and find all of these stories if you want to go back to the beginning and catch up and then just sort of go through it. These will be on the iTeam shelf.
I recommend it.
It's an intriguing story. It's an intriguing story, and home building always we all. Trying to find a home, and if you're in a position to have one built, the sort of anxiety and the appeal and the excitement all sort of balled together that something like this can bring. So it might touch a nerve with some folks.
I guarantee it will. And so I can't imagine that this is anybody's first time seeing you, but if it is, Dana Fowle is here on our iTeam, the Fox 5 iTeam. She does consumer stories. She also does investigative pieces.
That's right.
If you have a pitch that you want to get out to her, they can reach you.
They can absolutely email me, dana.fowle@fox.com. And it's Fowle, not Fowler, Fowle.
Well, we'll be back with some more content after this break.
Well, this is my shirt from 2 years ago when Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning screened at Regal Atlantic Station. It was a memorable night because Tom Cruise showed up. So what are we going to do to be even bigger for the next movie in the Mission Impossible franchise? Easy. We're going to roll out a red carpet and invite a galaxy of stars to the Atlanta premiere of Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning.
If we want to bring the world back from the brink, we have to deal with him. Should he choose to accept?
How excited are you to be here tonight?
Super excited. Tom Cruise doesn't age. I'm trying to drink whatever's in his water.
Absolutely.
And neither is Angela Bassett. She looks from A to the Z.
Absolutely.
So, even after Wakanda, it's like, what is she going to do next?
Right.
That's going to be even bigger. And she just found a way to do that.
Right.
But of course, she's Angela Bassett. You know what I mean? She just chooses the right thing that just really suits her. Even from the police show that she's in to this, to Waiting to Exhale, she's just so iconic.
Amazing.
It's truly amazing.
What's coming up next for you?
Well, we do know Braxton Family Values. The Braxtons.
Yeah.
Season 2 will be out in the fall, so we're very, very excited about that. We're not finished filming yet, so we're still in production with that.
Oh, nice.
So we're very, very excited. And of course, we all know that I cook and I had a restaurant for over 5 years, but I am now in school to become a chef.
Yes.
So I'm just really excited.
Do you remember we came and spent a morning at your restaurant one time? This was a long time ago, and your mom was there.
Super long time ago.
A long time ago. I want to do that again with you.
We absolutely will. You'll be the first on my list.
I have a memory of doing shots with you at like 7 in the morning, and it was fabulous.
You have to stay ready, so you don't have to get ready.
Absolutely. All right, we'll see you next time, okay?
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Good to see you.
Your team has been betrayed, Ethan. all your secrets compromised.
Well, how do you feel being here at the premiere of Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning?
I feel so good. I cannot wait to see this film.
Yeah.
I cannot wait. Ooh!
Yeah, what are you most looking forward to about this movie?
I'm looking forward to all the stunts and everything because that's one thing that I really want to get into and really want to indulge in because, that's something I've never done, so I want to do that.
Oh, I love that. The world wants to see you do that as well. And of course, Angela Bassett is in this movie, who is such an icon. Is she somebody you look up to?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. She is literally a beast, in her craft. She is somebody that I feel like anybody should look up to.
Totally. So tell me what's going on with you right now. You got a couple of projects on TV.
Yeah, so right now, Found is still on. We have season 1 and season 2, and also P-Valley, 3 seasons. So season 3 hasn't came out yet, but it's coming. It's coming. So I'm looking forward to it.
P-Valley is so amazing. Katori Hall is just an incredible person, writer, creator. What has it been like being part of a show that has really opened up so much representation on TV?
I feel like it just feels like an honor just to be a part of something that means so much more than just entertainment. So for me, it's been a blast. I love all the connections I made. I love all the people that are on the show. The creators, everybody are just so genuine, and I love that. So
Amazing. Great to see you. Have a good night.
Thank you. You
okay,
too.
nice to meet you.
CIA Black Vault break-in.
Am I reading this correctly? The Kremlin bombing?
In fairness, the bomb was actually meant to kill him.
How are you?
I am absolutely fabulous. I'm thankful that you asked that question.
You look amazing right now. Is life good for you?
Thank you. Life has been great. I've been mothering and pouring myself into my children. I've been developing my shows that I've been doing for like 10 years now. And so I'm just happy that I'm at a point right now that I'm finally back out. I've been gone for like 8 months.
Yeah, we're ready for you to come back.
Hey, and I'm ready to come back.
Okay, all right, we love that. Tell me how excited you are to be here tonight.
I am so excited. I love all of the Mission Impossibles.
Do you?
And oh my goodness, yes. I had to catch up to make sure that I was ready for this one. I can't wait. Tom Cruise looks freaking amazing.
Yeah.
And so, yes, I cannot wait to see where this one is going to go.
Amazing. Okay, I want to manifest for you that you will end up, if they make another one, I want to see you like jumping out of air. Would you do that stuff? Like jump out of the airplanes?
Absolutely.
You would?
I would.
And you'd sing on the whole way down, wouldn't you?
Look, I'm an adrenaline junkie.
I love that. Latavia, it's so good to see you.
You as well.
All right, come back and see us at Fox
So
5
good to
too.
see
All right, you too.
I need you to trust me. One last time.
Also on the red carpet tonight, Portia Williams was here, Montel Jordan was here, even Portia Brunner from the Portia Show was here on the red carpet, and of course I was here too. And now this report will self-destruct in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
restaurant's in trouble. Send help.
Right, I'm on my way.
This summer, one man is on a secret mission, and that man is Gordon Ramsay.
Gordon Ramsay.
Good to see you, Paul.
It's so good to see you, man. How are you?
Very well indeed, thank you.
Okay, let's just get this out of the way. So I'm standing around the corner a minute ago, and you're doing another interview, and somebody's like, "Where do you want to watch a World Cup? What host city?" Now, there's a great list, but Atlanta is number one on that list. You said Kansas City. I want to know why you said Kansas City and why you didn't say Atlanta.
Humidity.
Okay.
And from a chef's point of view, I mean, you just don't want a sweaty chef in Atlanta.
Okay, but you know Atlanta has such good food.
It's got great food there. I love it there. And last time I was in Atlanta, I was catfish noodling. Giant catfish.
Wait, okay, wait a minute. What is that? Like literally, that's where you like reach in and get. You were doing that in Georgia?
Yes.
Why?
Because I was desperate to find a catfish.
Wow. Okay.
You've never gone noodling before?
No, I have not. I have not. I'm sorry. I'm letting my people down.
But you're not truly from Atlanta.
Okay, it's gonna happen.
How can I noodle before you?
I have an idea.
Let's
you
go.
come down for the World Cup.
Love it.
We'll go noodling together, and then we'll watch.
Love it.
His mission: infiltrate and save failing restaurants.
This kitchen's a ticking time bomb.
Look, I watch a lot of like true crime, a lot of horror movies. Secret Service, one of the most horrifying things. The minute there was like a Gordon rat cam, I was like, I think I might have to bow out. Gordon, what? This is so crazy. This show.
And also, I think it's 20 years of experience, and I was desperate to get into these restaurants without being sort of spotted.
Yeah.
So going in undercover, like the night before, rigging the place with cameras, getting all the evidence.
Yeah.
And then returning to my little van, my plumber's van, storming the building, taking control, and then when they want to argue with me, Paul, I've now got evidence. Let's go. I'm ready for an argument.
I love it's so Watergate, like you outside in the van. It's very undercover. Okay, so in the first episode, what I did like is like I feel like you are sort of illuminating the fact that when there's a problem in the restaurant, like there was a lot of problems in that Washington D.C. restaurant, it usually speaks to a larger issue, which in this case was like the family dynamics, right?
Exactly.
Like it points that there are larger problems.
The disconnect.
Yeah.
And you know, it is brutal when you come across families running these restaurants, and sometimes it's about fixing the family first before you start fixing the restaurant.
Right.
Father, son, mother, daughter.
Yeah.
You know, those relationships are frayed, they're tough, and so the pressure of this business gets to them, and then they just drift apart, and that's sad.
Yeah.
Really sad.
Yeah. The rats in that first episode. How horrified were you? Because I was on the airplane watching it, vocally going, "Oh my God!" and people were turning around to see what was happening.
There was so much food everywhere. Honestly, Paul, the rats were like, well, what's on the menu tonight? Because they were like fat rats. I've never seen rats that fat. Those rats were bigger than my son's cats. They were huge, honestly. And also, I spot them, right? I can spot them a mile away, so leaving all these little GoPros everywhere.
Yeah.
And then just seeing the size of these things 2 or 3 hours later was scary.
Yeah.
That's a rogue Asian.
It's Gordon like you've never seen him before.
Let me get your advice, okay? So, and I'm being totally serious
Please.
about this.
Please.
So there's a restaurant that I love in the greater Atlanta area.
Yes.
I love this restaurant. My friends love this restaurant. Went there forever. The last time I ate there, I was sitting at my table, and it was like out of a movie. A cockroach crawled onto the table, crawled right across me, and then just like disappeared. Gordon, like, do I give them another chance?
No,
Was it maybe just a bad day, or should I not go back?
No,
I haven't been back, and I feel
that's bad. If you're seeing one in the dining room across your table, only God knows what's going on in that kitchen. And also, listen, you know, restaurants have rodent problems, but you've got to sort of try and maintain some form of decency. But no, get out of there, please.
Yeah, I haven't been back, and
Please.
I felt kind of bad about it, but I'm glad you.
Oh my goodness me.
Yeah, it was bad.
Well, good morning, everybody. If you were watching Good Day Atlanta on Wednesday morning, you know we had the best morning ever. I had so many fries, I was fry silly because we were hanging out at Yumbii, a really popular and groundbreaking brand here in Atlanta that was just featured on the Food Network. So you know the show, Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, hosted by Guy Fieri. Well, he chose to spotlight this restaurant, and we could not be happier.
Hey, everybody, I'm Guy Fieri, and we're rolling out looking for America's greatest diners, drive-ins, and dives.
This trip, that's the bite. We're cruising to the southeast. Grab the pot, I'll get the leftovers, start in the car, hitting up some standout spots. What does this body language say to you?
You want to eat another bite?
Carson and Katie, congratulations. It's great to see both of you. So you made history, Carson, as the first deaf chef ever featured on the show. What did that feel like?
Nervous and excited at the same time.
Right. So what was Guy Fieri like in person? How was it having him here?
He's like one of the nicest guys I've ever met.
Yeah.
He's so down to earth.
Yeah, I love to hear that. Let's go back in time for a minute. So your first food truck came here to Atlanta in 2010, and you were the first food truck in the city. So when you told people that you were going to do a food truck in Atlanta, did they think you were crazy?
They thought I was crazy. Even my wife thought I was crazy.
Well, then I should ask you, what did you think when he said, so we're going to put a restaurant on wheels in Atlanta?
I thought he had come unhinged. I was like, we don't have food trucks in Atlanta. That's not a thing.
Yeah.
But Carson's just always been such a visionary. He sees things that people don't see. And he says sometimes, like, everyone else is busy listening and I'm watching.
Yes.
So I think he has like a sixth sense about him, about, trends and things like that.
Oh, that's so interesting. So where did you first become aware of food trucks? How did you know they existed?
I became aware of food trucks on a trip to Los Angeles.
Okay, so in Los Angeles. And you saw some similarities between Los Angeles and Atlanta, right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Because we're a city that depends on the car to get around.
Yep.
We're a driving city.
It's not like New York where we walk everywhere. We have to drive. And so food trucks can get around here. So the brand has grown since then into now including 3 physical locations. How amazing is it to sort of step back for a minute and say, this is where we started and this is where we are now?
It's pretty amazing. That was one thing that came from this show, I feel like, is when you're in the business all the time, you're not really looking at how far you've come.
Right.
But after Carson started the food truck and Yumbii started to get this brand in Atlanta and we wanted to take it to brick and mortar, like nobody would even lease to us at the beginning because it wasn't a thing to go from food truck to brick and mortar.
And an Asian-Mexican mashup in Atlanta.
I might as well get it in there as fast as I can.
That comes with an amazing story. I think you're going to be a gigantic inspiration.
Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives was just here. Guy Fieri tasted a lot of your food. What was the word that he used to describe this place?
Flavor bomb.
And I'm going to say, Guy Fieri, you were right on. I couldn't agree more. Let's talk about some of this food. So first of all, how do you describe the cuisine of Yumbii?
Okay, so we describe it simply as Korean barbecue meets Mexican.
Got it. Yep.
But it's Korean barbecue flavors that are then infused with Mexican sort of vessels, right? And then we also have some Southern influence on the food as well.
Yeah, it's so interesting to talk about Korean barbecue, but you've got churros and quesadillas. I mean, you really have put them all together. And you said on Good Day Atlanta, don't sleep on the wings.
Don't sleep on the wings.
Yeah.
This is the honey sriracha, which is the top selling flavor. But I also love, like, we'll do 50-50 flavors too. So I love to mix the honey sriracha with the gochujang buffalo.
Ooh.
And you get, it's spicy. You get sweet and spicy together. Really
Here's the thing. I would love to try these wings right now, but I know the man behind the camera would stop filming, tackle me, rip the wing out of my mouth, and not let me eat it. So I'm not going to touch them because I don't want to be hurt today. What I have been touching, those fries.
Sesame fries. That's what we're famous for.
Yeah.
They're so good.
They are so addictive. Do you eat them every day?
all the time.
I'm so glad you said that. Yeah, I feel like if I was you, I would never stop eating the sesame fries. Now, what's in the quesadilla right there?
The quesadilla is jack cheese. We have our bulgogi beef, and then we do a black bean corn salsa and our Yumbii chili sauce in there as well.
Ooh, that sounds amazing. Yeah. And then what about over here? This like burrito.
That's a pulled pork burrito. We've got some brown rice, so you know it's healthy.
Yep, of course. Yep.
And then our soy sesame salad, our chipotle sour cream on the side.
Yeah, amazing. It all looks so good. How proud are you of what you've built over the past 15 years?
Very proud. Because I've been looking at it from a broad perspective, but when I focus on it more deep, I'm proud of myself, proud of my wife, Katie. She's involved.
Yeah, well, you should be. What you've created has made Atlanta a much better place. So thank you both for that. Again, this is Yumbii, just featured on the Food Network, but in my opinion, more importantly, right here on Fox Local. Georgia Aquarium has never looked so good. Glow Nights is here, an incredible summer event that you saw on Good Day Atlanta, and now we get to show you a little bit more this weekend. So this is a daily event happening all the way through the summer, starting at 4 p.m., where the aquarium gets a literal glow up, a glow-in-the-dark transformation, which is inspired by the real-life phenomenon of ocean bioluminescence. And Stephanie, I know you had so much fun designing the entertainment aspect for this event. So explain what we're going to see when we're here for Glow Night.
So we have a variety of different acts that are happening. So as you're enjoying the aquarium, you may come out and suddenly there's an aerial act happening, or you come out and there's a drum number happening, or there's, you know, large sea fans that are out here. So it's kind of a, you know, big atmospheric event that's happening that's celebrating all of these amazing animals.
Well, and I love that aspect of it, that it's not just entertainment for entertainment's sake. It ties into what we're already seeing and learning about here at Georgia Aquarium.
Absolutely. We looked really at how the movement of the different acts happen and how we could pair it with an animal that moves in a similar way or behaves in a similar way, and the costumes reflect those animals as well.
And just like the aquarium, it is ever changing. So anytime you're here, if you come back 3-4 times over the summer, you'll see different acts, right?
Right. So each night of the week, you might come one night and there is, a silk aerial act, and then the next night there is this big duo cube act, or you may come and there's a variety of different acts that we kind of cycle throughout the week.
Yeah, there's the sway pole, which I saw last night. It was unbelievable. Where do these performers come from?
So we have 3 circ entertainers that are out of Vegas that are here in residency this summer, as well as our host and our ensemble are all local actors who we have hired for the summer.
That's amazing. How excited are you to do something like this that's brand new at Georgia Aquarium?
Oh, it's amazing. This is the biggest kind of event that we've put on so far, and so we're very excited to be able to bring this to all of our guests.
And now we're in the dark, and we're in the dark for a very good reason. I know you can't really see anything right now, but you're not supposed to, because we're in the brand new exhibit that ties in with Glow Nights. It's called Ocean Lights, and it is all about that phenomenon of ocean bioluminescence. So I'm standing next to my friend in the shadows, Kat, the senior aquarist here. It's great to see you, Kat.
Oh, it's very great to be here. Thank you so much for coming.
And I love this exhibit. So explain, what is bioluminescence?
So bioluminescence is the generation of light from within an organism. So basically they light up by causing it on the inside.
Yeah, so this is some sort of a chemical reaction going on, and it happens for different reasons, right?
Yeah, certain organisms we believe use it for communication, for species recognition. One of the species that we're very excited to showcase, they think it may either trigger a startle response, that if a predator disturbs them, that sudden bright light kind of spooks it a little bit. Or that it could be a burglar alarm response, that it encourages larger organisms to then chase off a would-be predator.
Yeah, it is so interesting. So let's show that organism, because you've got it right now in a jug. So what is this that you're about to show us?
So this is a bioluminescent algae or dinoflagellate called Pyrocystis.
Okay.
This is an organism we're very, very excited to show off. Are you guys ready?
Yeah, let's do it. Oh, wow. So every time you turn it, it's emitting its own light. It's this beautiful burst of light. Why is it doing that? Is it because you're just disrupting the water?
Yeah, so anything that disturbs the cell walls on these organisms will actually trigger that chemical reaction then automatically.
Wow, there it is, bioluminescence in action. And speaking of bioluminescence, look who's luminescing. Me, with my glow-in-the-dark tattoo. You can get one too at Glow Nights. By the way, Janika, amazing job. I love it. Thank you so much. So again, so much good stuff going on here at Georgia Aquarium all summer long. All the info you need is online. I'm just gonna leave you with a nice little flex. Check out my tattoo.
Hey guys, welcome back into Fox 5 News Now. I want to get you out to some breaking news right away. We've sent Alexa Liaco, our reporter, out to Atlanta, where the Georgia Bureau of Investigation is on scene with an investigation. Alexa, what have you learned so far?
Hey, good morning. We are in Southwest Atlanta. We are outside of the Heritage Station apartment complex. This is on McDaniel Street. There's a huge police presence here, Fulton County Police alongside Atlanta Police as well. We spoke with some neighbors who said that they kind of watched this all unfold, and they said that there was a man walking around the complex, kind of looking suspicious with a large piece of metal in his hand. And they said that there was a resident, an older gentleman, who called a Fulton County police officer who lives in this complex as well for help to maybe intervene in whatever was going on. They said after a few words between the two parties that bullets went flying. They said they heard 2, maybe 3 shots. We do know that someone is dead right now. We're still waiting on police confirmation on what exactly happened, but you can see across the street from us. Of course, this car pulls right in front, but the Fulton County Police SUV, the window is broken. This is sitting here. Police did let us know that no police officers were hurt in this shooting, but we're trying to figure out any information on the person that was killed. Still a lot of unanswered questions, but this all unfolded just this morning, so we will provide you some updates as soon as we get new information from police.
Alexa, thank you. While we do still have you, though, I understand that this is live, this is active right now. We don't know any identifying information about this victim and nothing about a potential suspect just yet, right?
Correct. We do know that it is a man. That's at least from neighbors' account of the situation, that it was a man who was shot and killed here. But the circumstances surrounding that, unclear. Not sure if he lived here at this complex or knew anyone at this complex. But we do know, according to neighbors, that somebody called and asked police to come intervene, and then bullets went flying and this turned deadly. So still a lot of things that we need to get details uncovered from police, and we should be getting those confirmed with them shortly. They're sending their public information officer out to the scene so that we'll be able to get some of those details to you as soon as we get them.
Beautiful, and you know that we will pop right back out to you as soon as we can. So Alexa, thank you. Let us know what else you find later. And bringing you all back in, just in case you just joined our stream, you're watching Fox 5 News Now. I'm your host, Judea Murray. We did have some breaking news about a shooting. We don't know too much more information other than that, though. Alexa Liaco will get us some more from the scene when she can. There are also a lot of events happening around the Metro Atlanta area today. We want to pop out to Fairburn, where we have our reporter, Eli Jordan, from the scene of the Renaissance Festival, which is a pretty cool gig, right?
Hello, Judea. Yeah, I'm at the village of Newcastle. I'm going to have to get myself a turkey leg and a tankard of beer. But yeah, the jousting starts soon, about 11:30. We'll have that going on. The doors are not quite open yet. They open up at 10:30. Today is the last day of the season for the Georgia Renaissance Festival, their 40th season. And right now, I found Scott Brennis, who is a proprietor here at the Georgia Renaissance Festival. Scott, how are you doing today?
Wonderful, my friend. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. So tell me, so you own a couple shops here, correct?
Just a couple. We have the Pirate's Treasure, which sells swords, knives, daggers, all kinds of fun, sharp and shiny, pointy, hacky, slashy weapons. We are responsible for the Hookah Lounge, which is a place where you can come, relax, sit, catch a breath, enjoy a hookah, a little bit of Middle Eastern tradition. It's also the home of Enchantment, which is handmade turkey for the
arena here.
Looks like we missed you for a second, but it also looks like your camera may be coming back up. We want to make sure we hear all of this goodness from the Renaissance
a little bit,
Festival.
so yeah, we got a weird.
Yeah, okay. So I think we lost you, but we're definitely going to pop back in a little later to make sure that we get everything that's happening out there at the Renaissance Festival. And I do hope you find your turkey leg. I think that'll be great to see a little later. But right now, I want to get you a look at your forecast. Again, I'm looking outside the window right here at the Fox 5 Atlanta studios, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. I'm hoping that there is no rain in the forecast, but Alex, what can you tell us?
Today, we're going to be watching for just a couple of scattered showers through the afternoon. I really think by and large, what's going to dominate the weather pattern today across metro Atlanta, North Georgia, and central Georgia is this haze we have out there. It's from some Canadian wildfires. It's in the upper levels of our atmosphere, not so much at the surface. And I point that out just to give everybody with health issues a little ease that it's not at the surface. So no, we're not going to be looking at some serious issues out of it. 72 is where we stand right now in the city. That's 3 degrees warmer than this time yesterday, with the light breeze out of the west-northwest at 9. 67 in Canton, 66 over in Gainesville, 71 in Athens. See some high-level clouds in parts of northwest Georgia, more of those back into Alabama. That's what I expect to filter into the area over the course of the day ahead. Meanwhile, yeah, we're tracking some storms this morning back into parts of northern Texas and some scattered showers over into Arkansas. All right, so here we go with the forecast for the afternoon. Temperatures getting into the low 80s, a little bit of humidity out there, but that humidity is going to be on the rise through the course of the week ahead. And it's important to note this, right? You see mostly cloudy skies, the partly cloudy skies, then completely clear skies. Sunset tonight is just after 8:30, and that's important to note because we are going to have the opportunity to see the northern lights tonight. Notice I said opportunity. It's not a guarantee into the night tonight. And I also want to point out that, yes, we'll have some of this wildfire smoke still around, but there are places last night that had the wildfire smoke overhead, and they were still able to see the northern lights, right? So I'm not expecting the smoke to inhibit us from seeing it. I think if we don't see the northern lights, it's going to be because of a different reason, not necessarily because of the smoke that's in the atmosphere. So here's the hour-by-hour forecast now into the afternoon. By the noon hour, we're looking for some scattered showers, and then, yeah, that's going to do it for us for the afternoon. There goes the cloud cover through the overnight, right? 11 to 2 a.m. is going to be your time for the northern lights if we're able to see it. Some more scattered showers tomorrow with temperatures in the mid-80s. Then by the time we get to Tuesday, I'm expecting to be completely dry. So 82 for the afternoon, 81 in Rome, 80 in Canton, 77 in Blairsville, 81 in Gainesville, 83 in Athens, and 82 in Covington. Meanwhile, tonight, 63 in Atlanta, 60 in Covington, 61 in Athens, 53 in Blairsville, and 61 over in Gainesville. Here's your Fox 5 Storm Team 7-day forecast now. A 20% chance for showers and storms today and tomorrow. Completely dry for Tuesday and Wednesday, but those temperatures on the uphill climb. And then by the time we get to Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, building in some more of the summertime shower and storm activity across the area. Now, coming up in a few minutes, we're going to talk more about what's to come overnight tonight and our chances for the northern lights. That comes right here in just a little bit. Judea?
All right, thank you for the forecast, Alex. So we want to take a look at a couple of things happening around the Metro Atlanta area right now. Not events, but more so some of the biggest headlines that we are facing. So actually over in Stone Mountain Park, maybe you heard there was a burned body found at the very top of the mountain. Hikers found this person and called 911. If we understand it clearly, the area that he was found in was kind of an overhang, almost like a mini cave. That's where the body was found. The GBI is investigating and is still looking for any clues left behind. We do know that there were some burned clothing left in the area. So the big question is, how could something like this happen at such a popular, iconic tourist spot? And we still don't have any answers to that just yet, but of course we will be keeping up with the GBI's investigation and looking out there. We also do not have an ID on the victim and no word on any suspect. Earlier, we told you about a shooting in Briscoe Park. 4 teenagers are in the hospital after the shooting. Multiple others are injured. This happened 9 p.m. on Saturday in Briscoe Park in Snellville. Those victims range anywhere between 14 to 17 years old, and witnesses say that there was an argument that unfolded and turned into gunfire. We don't have any word on the condition of the victims who didn't go to the hospital. Those who did go to the hospital are still recovering. The Gwinnett County Police say that there is no current safety risk, although they have not given us any information on any suspects or any arrests. And from there, we're going to go ahead and give you a 2-minute break. And when we come back, we'll have even more great content for you. Thanks for streaming with us here on Fox 5 News Now. Well, hey, welcome back to Fox 5 News Now. I'm Judea Murray. Before this break, we were trying to reach Eli Jordan, who's out at the Renaissance Festival here in Georgia. This is the last day. We had a couple of audio issues, but it seems that we're back up and running now. So, Eli, can we get back out to you and see what's happening now?
Hey, Judea. Yeah, apparently back at, in medieval times, they didn't have good cell signal. So, we're true to time here. But anyways, yeah, I'm out here at the Georgia Renaissance Festival the last day. It's their 40th year, too. And I'm just real close to the jousting arena here. But also, too, I found Scott Brennis. Hello, Scott. He's a proprietor here at the Georgia Renaissance Festival. And tell me, when I was speaking to you earlier, you mentioned that you've been doing Renaissance Fair for 25 years.
Yes, sir.
So what is it about the Renaissance that, you find a passion for?
The Renaissance is, it's an amazing event where people can come in regardless of age, gender, race, religion, orientation, and truly just be who they are. And they can come in and experience a place where people are inviting and accepting, and they can put the outside world aside, and people can be seen and be heard, which is not something that happens readily available on the outside. So the vendors here, myself, and so many other people, craft an experience where we can, give people the opportunity to be whoever they are, whatever they are, however they want to be, without judgment.
And so, like I said, this has been going on for, 8 weekends, correct?
Yes, sir.
And that's 2 months worth of weekends. Today's the final day. What's it like on the final day? Is it kind of bittersweet? I mean, you gotta be kind of sad. I saw your final meeting with your employees and stuff. I mean, just tell me, what's it like for everybody here on the final day?
It is bittersweet. It's the last opportunity for us to make a difference. It's the last opportunity for us to see so many of our friends and family that will go our separate ways tomorrow. It's the last time that we're going to have a chance to make a difference for the people that come in. And it starts a long, hard process of packing everything down and putting it away and saving it until the next time we're able to get together. But if we didn't do that, then it wouldn't be special.
And you also do, you go a little bit, above and beyond. I mean, the proceeds, a lot of what you sell, I mean, you help veterans, correct?
We have a fundraiser that we run where we give away a free sword at the end of an event that we have every day. We have a pirate auction. And at the end of that, we award a very special raffle prize, a licensed movie sword, to a ticket holder, and then we donate 100% of what we collect to DAV, to Disabled American Veterans. It's an amazing organization. We've raised close to $300,000 since we started in 2019. It's a national project that we run. I'm very proud of it. The crew that works with me does an amazing job, and it's absolutely nothing that I could do by myself.
Awesome. And also, too, I mean, you're not just a vendor, you are invested in the Georgia Renaissance. I mean, you own the buildings that you run your shops out of, correct?
Yes, sir.
And I mean, this is different than other festivals that I've been to. I mean, I was not expecting, pardon my ignorance, but, you guys have been here for 40 years. This is my first time here, and I did not realize that there were permanent buildings. Oh, yeah, there we go. Things are getting started. See, they didn't even have cannon, I was expecting a cannon. But, I mean, how does this rank? I mean, you go to a lot of festivals around the country. How does the Georgia Renaissance Festival rank?
Love the Georgia Renaissance Festival. They have always been a festival that's about building the experience for the patrons. So they're really focused on making sure that the people that are coming in are getting the best experience they can. So they give us the freedom to build, that experience, but they also hold us to a very high standard, making sure that we're giving the best we can and that the customers aren't getting less than what they should.
Awesome. Scott, thank you very much. And Judea over here, about 11:30, they're going to have jousting. You just heard the cannon fire.
Yeah.
Things are getting fired up. The gates are about to open in about 15 minutes.
That's really exciting.
I think, you can still go to garenfest.com and check out the, make sure they're, see if they're sold out yet. Mm-hmm. And because yesterday they were sold out. This is so popular, they're sold out yesterday. But they still have some slots open today so people can squeeze in. It's $32 a ticket. And this is a really cool thing because, this is for the whole family. I mean, you can bring your kids, you can bring yourself or your brother or your sister. You can go get yourself some beers or some wine. You can get turkey legs and all that good stuff. There's minstrels and troubadours everywhere. And, there's all sorts of really cool vendors out here. And I would highly suggest, if you have nothing to do today, make it out to the final day of the Georgia Renaissance Festival here at Newcastle Village.
Hey, Eli, I'm really happy that we were able to take this live. I heard you say earlier in the show that you had never been. I've never been to the Renaissance Festival. My niece went last weekend and said it was a riot. So, I mean, you have actors out there. You're going to meet a lot of interesting characters. This week's theme, or weekend's theme, excuse me, is Flight the Fantasy. We mentioned before, you'll probably see the pixies, the witches, everything out there. It's going to be a lot of fun. And the fact that this is live, we did hear that cannon fire off in the background. I don't know how you didn't jump.
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, it did kind of scare me, but luckily I got image stabilization, so the cannon firing, it didn't show up too much with me flinching.
No, we did not see that
it's
on
cool.
the
I mean,
end. I thought you
people,
had like surgeon hands.
The long dresses and the corsets and the boots and the, Scott mentioned his swords and stuff. I mean, no one's here yet, but no attendees, but the vendors and employees here, I mean, they're all having their final meeting of the season, and it's really cool. I mean, there's lots of colorful wares. Hair's done real nicely. I mean, you can come out and get your hair braided if you want to, and you can come out and be a fair maiden, Judea.
They have a lot to offer out there. Eli, thank you so much. What a cool event. We have other things going on in the Metro Atlanta area as well. Actually, we have our reporter Anjali Proctor visiting Old Fourth Ward, where they have their Spring Arts Festival. This is also the last day of the festival. Anjali, first, it looks nice and sunny out there. How are things going?
Well, good morning today. It is absolutely beautiful out here in Old Fourth Ward. And I'm a native Atlantan. And I remember my father talking about Old Fourth Ward, but this place is gorgeous. And we are here. This festival hasn't started yet. It actually starts around 11 a.m. But I want you to take a look. Many of the vendors are starting to set up. That's a jewelry booth there. And there are dozens and dozens of vendors and booths here. And I'm talking about the Old Fourth Ward. Look at all of this development that is here now. This is certainly the place to be, with Ponce City Market very close by. There's 70 vendors that are going to be out here. And I got to tell you, this festival is dog friendly. It's going to have some delicious food and just incredible wares. Lots of people with unique wares. They've made jewelry, they're making arts and crafts, paintings, things like that. So this is definitely going to be the place to be. And you've got incredible weather to do it in. We are right here in the Old Fourth Ward Park. And I thought I'd check out one of the vendors that's here, the Mad Greek. Nick is here, and he is going to join me to talk about what he's going to be offering today. Of course, any good festival always has a lot of delicious food. And here I am finding
Good
Nick.
morning. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing? What do you have there?
I have some nice lamb, and I'm making our famous Mad Greek sandwich. A gyro. How are you guys?
Oh, we're doing great. We're doing great. I know Judea might want me to bring some of that back to the studio.
Yeah, we're at the Old Fourth Ward. We've been doing this festival for about 8 years, and it's a great time. The weather's perfect. From 11 to 5 o'clock, and you should come join us and have some fun, look at the artists, have some great Greek food, and let us know what you think.
All right, Nick, so tell me, you've been doing this for 8 years. Why do you come back? Because this is a kind of smaller, more intimate festival. Talk to me about what makes this festival any different from another.
The local people. Local people are great around here. There's a lot of people walking their dogs. They come get the food. There's people in the apartment buildings right next to us that come every year and get my food, and they can't wait. I had some people come from Dunwoody yesterday, said they followed us and just came to get our food. And then they, hung out for a couple hours and went back home.
Wow.
So it's just a great feeling.
So when you say the food, what's on the menu that we just gotta try?
Our homemade tzatziki. We use sheep's milk yogurt. We import it from Greece. Our homemade baklava, our hummus. We make everything homemade. We have 5 trailers, and we're all over Atlanta and surrounding areas, and we just love the food truck business.
Fantastic. And the early bird gets the worm. What time did you come out today?
I was here at 7:30 prepping and cooking food.
Wow, fantastic. So Karen is here. She's going to tell us a little bit more about the festival and what we can expect today.
Well, we're excited. The festival kicks off at 11 a.m. and it is a dog-friendly festival. We're going to have about 70 artists out here. It's a juried festival, so
That was a
we're going
good
to get
touch. I
very
said,
much
let
of the
me know.
best.
Huh?
It's free. We have
That's a
something
good
for
plug for
kids
us
out
on the
here,
fucking
face
news.
painting, tours, like sweet this morning, and
I'm
all the
so
good stuff.
mad.
Plenty of food, fun, and
I don't even want to see Tom.
And one of the great things is we're right on the belt line, so very convenient for a lot of people.
It is. A lot of people are strolling on the weekend no matter what, and so they just pop by and come in and out. And because it's free, it's easy breezy.
So talk a little bit about Old Fourth Ward, because you know, when my dad was around here as a kid, I mean, that must have been the 1930s. Look at this place now.
Yeah, I mean, it is really, really I've been here personally for the past 2
And then he
decades,
said,
and to see the park, and City
I
Market
could smell
expansion, and
alcohol.
all the things that continue
he
to
literally
grow,
said,
it's really
you ever
an
say
incredible
I'm
time for the Old
drinking,
Fourth Ward.
I'm
We're just
quitting.
gonna see more
I
to
said,
come.
I don't give a shit.
So everything kicks off this morning at 11 a.m.
Yes,
Judea.
Sorry, I wanted to hop in. We want to take over real quick. I understand. Just keep your camera up and pan around if you can. And I just want to talk to what we're
Yell at me
seeing.
in front of my sister.
So again, Anjali Proctor is out there at Old Fourth Ward, the Arts Festival. One of the things that she told us about was this Greek food truck. Angelique, if you can still hear me, pan your camera around so we can see the tents and everything getting set up. Yeah, okay, there we go. So like I said, she told us about this Greek truck, and yes, please do send some food back. Greek is actually my favorite. I can only imagine what it smells like. I kind of wish that this was 4D so that we could get some of the good smells back here in the studio. Please do not be stingy. Bring us back a gyro or 2. We would appreciate it. But as she said, this is a family-friendly event. There are going to be a lot of people coming through within the next, I would say probably about 30 minutes, because this kicks off at 11 a.m., I believe. And Angelique, I did not know that you were a native Atlantean, ATLian. I don't know what they call you guys, but that's good to know. Thank you for taking us out to the Arts Festival. If we could bring it back in studio real quick, we're going to get you guys a 2-minute break. And when we come back, again, we're going to have a lot more content with you. If you have questions, you can go ahead and throw them in the comment section if you're streaming with us on YouTube. But other than that, we'll be right back. Well, hello, welcome back to Fox 5 News Now. I'm Judea Murray. We have a pretty cool phenomenon we may be able to see right here in the metro Atlanta area. I want to hop over to Fox 5 Storm Team meteorologist Alex Forbes, who could explain it a lot better than I can. Alex?
All right, Judea. Yeah, into the overnight hours, we are going to have the opportunity, that being the key word, opportunity to potentially see the northern lights here in metro Atlanta and North Georgia. So we've got a G4 geomagnetic storm. That's the official classification from the Space Weather Prediction Center. And basically what that means is the Earth is passing through some energy from the sun, and that is creating the northern lights. Now, your KP index here, your forecast numbers, the higher the number, the more northern light activity you're going to get, and the further south it's going to get. So from 11 tonight to 2 in the morning, we're going to be at a 7.67, which puts us in that G4 range, and we are going to be on the lookout for potentially some northern lights as far south as northern Georgia. The best viewing for this is going to be away from city lights, again 11 to 2. That timing might fluctuate a little bit, so be sure to check back for updates. And this is not guaranteed, but it is a decent chance as we look at this here through the next couple of hours. Now, there's a couple different scenarios here, right? If we see weaker numbers, then we're not going to be able to see it regardless of your distance from city lights. But there is a scenario where maybe you don't see it near city lights, but you can see it to your cameras away from city lights. So it's just a question of how everything shakes out before all is said and done. Obviously, if we see what we saw last year, then it will be visible near and away from city lights, no matter where you are in the metro Atlanta area. So it's certainly going to be a curiosity through the night tonight. Judea, I'm going to be updating this on my Facebook page and on fox5atlanta.com through the day to see how that time shifts around, because I do expect it to be tweaked a little bit, and maybe the intensity of the forecast as well. So this is very fine needling forecasting. The opportunity is there, though, and it's not every day that we see that opportunity here in the metro area.
Thanks, Alex. You know, I actually have never seen one of these situations. To be honest, I thought this was something that only happened in Alaska or like places in Europe, but it's pretty cool that it's possible that we could see it tonight.
Yep, absolutely.
Thank you for giving us a little rundown on that. And for those of you who are streaming with us, once again, if you have any questions, comments, you can drop them in the comment section if you're streaming with us on YouTube. You're watching Fox Local.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to Burgers with Buck Second Helping. A look back at some of our best Burgers with Buck memories, and there are plenty of them. This week, we begin in a place that has been putting the Haven in Brookhaven for more than 20 years. All right, this week, Burgers with Buck, we're back in Brookhaven. We are at Haven, hanging out with Michael. How you doing, man?
Doing great. How about you, my man?
Doing great. So you're a long-time Brookhaven guy. You've been around here for a while. Before we talk specifically about Haven, let's talk about how this place has developed into what it's become today. This is not your daddy's Brookhaven.
No. So 26 years of living in Brookhaven, 19 years here this November. So neat to see how this neighborhood has grown. It all started right here with Haven 19 years ago.
Yeah, so you guys were Brookhaven before Brookhaven was cool. Here at Haven 19 years ago. What's the concept? Tell us about Haven for someone who's never been.
So Haven, upscale neighborhood eatery. The idea was let's develop a restaurant that invites this community in, and hopefully people from around the city find us as well. Turns out that this small neighborhood place helped really launch Brookhaven, which feels really good.
Yeah, no doubt. And it seems like people around the city did discover you guys, didn't they? Tell me how you guys did during the whole COVID mess and trying to survive that. This is not a place you think of as a takeout restaurant.
No. Well, and thankfully, part of what kept us in the game during COVID was our neighborhood. It was so neat to see them come out, obviously, for what was happening around the world, but particularly here in Atlanta, takeout, to go, curbside. It's so neat to see everybody from Brookhaven say, you know what, we are not going to let those restaurants fail.
That's awesome. Sense of community you get here for sure. All right, this is the Haven Burger. You mentioned it's an upscale restaurant, and upscale and burger don't always go hand to hand, but they seem to go hand to hand more than they used to. Why is that?
Well, I think, first of all, we're going to rock your world with this burger.
All right, I like that.
You're going to go, wow, I can't wait to get back here.
Okay.
But I think the important thing is we have amazing, talented chefs. My chef partner, Stephen, who's here today as well, has been here since day one. Guillermo, who is our executive chef here now. has handled and prepared these meals. Goodness, G's been here since day one as well. So outside of the burger, we've got a melting pot of a lot of different things. The salmon here is really great, pork chop. So yes, you come for this burger, but I guarantee you, if you're not in the mood for a burger, we can meet your desire.
All right, tell us about it. Build this thing for me visually from start to finish.
All right, well, you see the toasted bun here, the butter lettuce. We use triple ground in the burger. And it's really just a lot of good care, making sure everything's fresh. And the idea is with any entree, but get this burger to the table as quick as possible. We want you biting into that burger almost right after the sizzle.
Some people do the smash patty or the thin patty. That's not how you guys roll.
No. We want a good thick patty. We'll cook it right. You never press any of the juices out of the patty. You let them stay in. So when that first bite you get is meaty and fleshy. So
you know what I'm ready for? That first bite you're talking. You take this. You take this. All right. All right. It's called the Haven Burger, right? That is a mouthful. Look at that thing. Look at that thing. There it is. All right, I'm ready to give it a go, Michael.
Get on it. Well, it's going to be really hard to talk now.
I'll let my fingers do the talking. I'm not even going to wait around and build up the drama. That's really good. Michael, that's awesome. Thanks a lot, man.
You're welcome. Hey,
cheers. Thank you. You mind if I finish it?
Nope, please.
All right, I'm going to. From Brookhaven to Buckhead we go. First there was Five Church in Midtown, and then came Five Church Buckhead, which has its own unique vibe, and let's just say Burgers with Buck is a fan of both locations. All right, this week, Burgers with Buck, we're back in Buckhead, and we're also back at Five Church, kind of. It's a new location. This is Iman, this is Rodney. How we doing?
Doing great. Welcome to Five Church Buckhead.
Glad to be here. We're going to talk about this in a second, but let's start with this. We've been to Five Church Midtown, right?
Yes.
It's only like 7 miles away. Why do you open a brand new fancy Five Church in Buckhead?
Because Buckhead clients deserves a Five Church in Buckhead. For the last 6 years since we opened Five Church Midtown, where we're very popular, everyone comes from Buckhead. You have to open in Buckhead.
When people think of Five Church, they probably think of the one they've been to a bunch of times. So what's the same, but what's different? Because there's a lot of differences too.
Yes, so during the phase of design, we wanted to build a Five Church, but we didn't want it to make it a copy and paste. It has to be unique to the great people of Buckhead, and we made some great choices by choosing some local artists from Atlanta, and they delivered some amazing product. Like every time I walk into this restaurant, I'm like, wow, this is what we did.
So I want to ask you kind of the same thing, Rodney, because when they talked about, hey, you should go check out Five Church's burger, I'm like, no, I've already done that, right? I've already had the Five Church burger, and it's great. But this is a lot different than what I had over at Midtown, isn't it?
Absolutely. We, with just what Kamel was saying, is with a revamp, and we didn't want to copy and paste. We wanted to create something new. We wanted to create something unique and give something back to the people of Buckhead.
All right, so what do you call this?
We call this the Modern Classic.
The Modern Classic. All right. Tell me, I mean, I guess it's kind of fun to kind of get to start from scratch and create a whole new burger when you already have a great one just down the road, but you get to start. Tell me about the process of putting it together and then kind of build it for me. How do you make it?
So it all starts with a in-house duck fat brioche burger made by our pastry chef Ben Collins.
Okay.
That's one of the key ingredients. So when we
let me make sure I understand. So it's a duck fat brioche bun.
Yes.
Okay. I don't even know what that means.
So we sub out a partial bit of butter. It's a butter brioche bun.
Okay.
So we're taking a bit of that butter out, and we're subbing in duck fat into that.
And what does that do for you?
Creates an amazing flavor.
All right.
It creates a level of umami that just adds to that.
All right. What's in between it?
In between it is a bib lettuce, a house sauce, kind of like our little secret sauce, touch on a classic, and we call it a tomato aioli, but there's a whole lot more into that. The burger mix is braised short rib and a ground wagyu, house ground pickles, and that brioche.
Tell me about the popularity already. I know you guys are pretty brand new, but how is this thing being received?
Flying out the door. My purveyors are very happy with the amount of meat that I have to order.
That's a good problem to have, right?
Yeah.
I'm ready to taste it. I'm ready. You guys, can I hand you this? Do you mind?
Oh, yes, please.
All right. The modern classic, right?
And yes, and there's a lot of goodness in there.
I can tell.
And the only thing similar between this one and the one in Midtown is the salt and pepper. I'll tell you.
Salt and pepper, okay. and it's actually called a burger. So it's got salt and pepper, and it's called a burger. Everything else is completely different, so you need to come try this one as well. Well, I'll be the judge of that, right? Here we go. Here we go.
That's a big bite, Buck.
That's what I do. All right, I like the one in Midtown. I like this one too, though. Very good. Gentlemen, thank you very much. I love it.
We love it. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Cheers. Well, good gracious, there is plenty more to come on Second Helping. Here's proof for you. We're heading to Gracious Plenty in Roswell, coming up next. When you think of Gracious Plenty Bakery and Breakfast in Roswell, you probably think of some of their delicious favorites like homemade biscuits and gravy, avocado toast, maybe a grits bowl. But as Burgers with Buck found out, good gracious, there's plenty more on their menu. All right, this week, Burgers with Buck, we are back in historic downtown Roswell. We're at Gracious Plenty, hanging out with Brian, hanging out with Landon. How you guys doing?
Can't complain, man. It's a beautiful day.
It is. It's a great place to be today. All right, tell us a little bit about Gracious Plenty. First of all, the name itself, it's just so positive.
Yeah. So actually our owner, Jasmine Willis, found a little script in a book kind of, and it resonated with her a lot. And years down the line, kind of stuck with her, and she's like, I think this would be a great name for a restaurant. So it's actually referenced from a book that she found it on.
I love it. So tell me, how would you describe the concept here?
Yeah, so we're a small family restaurant, definitely small batch bakery. Try to source as much as we can from local farmers and local purveyors as well. But yeah, Southern food done correctly, simple. That's how we do it.
I love it. You're
Yes,
speaking
sir.
my language
Yes,
here. You
sir.
know that. All right, so it's Gracious Plenty. bakery, and breakfast. So why not have a burger, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So actually the burger is one thing we brought onto our menu just when we expanded our hours till 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
So just to try to attract the lunch crowd a good bit. But then who doesn't love a burger as well? You know, you throw an egg on there, some bacon. It's your way here, man. You can customize it however you want.
I love it. Which brings us to Landon over here. All right, what do you call this one, Landon?
This is our Southern Burger.
The Southern Burger. All right, I want you to build it for me. I mean, I want you to be so descriptive that I can almost taste it.
Okay, all right, here we go. So we believe in definitely if we can't make it better than ourselves, or we have the space, we believe in buying a product from somebody that's going to do it better than us. So we have our brioche bun here from Theo's Bakery. Okay. Back to getting that local purveyor. She does it better than us, so we're throwing it on there. Then we have our Buckhead Pride beef. Next is our house-made pimento cheese with roasted pimentos, and then also our dill pickle, and then our sauce to top it all off is our house-made pepper jelly.
I have to confess, I tasted a little bit of the pepper jelly before the segment, and I'm a big fan.
Yes, sir. A little sweet, spicy, it's all beautiful.
So if I come in for breakfast and want a burger, is that okay?
Yeah, man. 8 a.m. Have yourself a burger, for sure.
Well, once again, you guys really are speaking my language. I'll tell you what, I'm ready to give this one a try. You want to hear?
I got you, Buck.
All right, it's called the Southern
Burger.
The Southern Burger. There it is right there.
Oh, yeah.
Man, here we go.
Get in there.
Oh, yeah. There he goes, Buck. There goes Buck.
Take it all in.
What do you think about this for a second? 2 words. Goodness gracious. I think it's going to be plenty, too. Awesome. Gentlemen, thank you so much.
Absolutely. Anytime, Buck.
Cheers.
Yes, sir. Buck.
From Roswell to Flowery Branch to a place called Bullseye Burgers and Chicken. And while I'm sure their chicken is very good, we can confirm that their burger hit the center of the target. All right, this week, Burgers with Buck, we are in Flowery Branch. And full disclosure here, I've been up in Flowery Branch this week helping out with our Falcons training camp coverage on Good Day Atlanta. So I was like, hey, why don't we check out some of the local fare? So we are here today at Bullseye Burgers and Chicken. I'm hanging out with Steve. Steve, how are you today?
Okay, fine, thank you.
All right, glad to be here. All right, so tell us first of all a little bit about your place. You've been here about, what'd you say, about 8 months?
8 months.
How would you describe Bullseye?
Well, I come down here for retire.
Okay, this is your retirement. You decided to open a restaurant. Is that what retirement's all about?
I didn't have my kitchen for a couple months, and I had to go out and eat. First week, I go over there, here, there. But from the second week, I didn't have place to go.
Right.
So I found this place. We gotta do something here.
Yeah.
Daily food. Everybody can come.
Right.
And then burger, everybody can.
Everybody loves burgers, and it seems to be working. I put it out on Facebook. Hey, recommend some burger spots in the Flowery Branch, Gainesville area, and yours is one that was recommended several times. So I'm glad we got to come here and check it out. We got 2 here. Yeah. We have your signature burger, the Bullseye Burger, and we have the Georgian. Let's talk about that one first, your signature burger. Yeah. What's on the bowl? How do you build it?
That's a double patty with a double cheese on the both sides with a 3-piece bacon.
3 pieces
in
of
the
bacon.
middle.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And how about that bun?
Bun is a special bun. I mean, not many people using this bun, but this is a great bun. You can, feel it when you eat it.
I'm about to find out, huh?
And then I use the our house sauce.
Okay.
Which is a BE sauce.
All right.
Mayonnaise based with some other ingredient.
Spicy?
Not spicy.
Not spicy?
Yes. And then also here we have a fresh onion, red onion.
Yeah.
And pickles
on the bottom. Yeah. All right. So this is your signature burger. That's a very popular one. This one's got a little kick to it. Tell me about the Georgian. I like the name and I like the kick.
Yeah, Georgian has a barbecue sauce on the bottom, and then we have a BE sauce on top, and then some pickle, and then jalapeno, grilled jalapeno in the middle with the pepper jack cheese on both sides of the patty.
All right, be honest with me. It's called Bullseye Burgers and Chicken. They come for the burger or the chicken?
Come with
Come for the burger. That's why I came. Yeah. I'm ready to give it a try. I think any, mini, miny, mo. I'm going to try the Georgian.
Sure.
Hey, can I hand you this?
Yes,
yeah,
sure.
There you go. You can be the reporter and I'll be the eater. Here it is, the Georgian from Bullseye. Burger and chicken in Flowery Branch. I'm excited about this.
All right.
That's really good. I'm giving you one right away. Burgers with Buck gives Bullseye a thumbs up. Steve, thanks a lot. We always show you great burgers around town, but what do you get when you combine a great burger and a great cause? You get a win-win in Gainesville, and that is where we're headed next. Good food, good friends, good times. Hop's Kitchen in Gainesville checks all those boxes. And now they have several delicious burger options on the menu. And we decided to check out the Southern Gentleman. All right, this week, Burgers with Buck, we're in Gainesville. We are in Hop's Kitchen. And this is a little different than some of the other places we've done. Hanging out with Mark. How you doing, man?
Hey, doing well, thank you.
All right, so start. We're right here near Brenau University, right? And this is a Brenau business startup complex. What does that mean?
Well, basically there are small businesses and startups, and they wanted some lunch service, and so here we are.
Yeah, here we are, and here they are too. The customers have just been coming one after the other. Tell us about your place. I mean, how would you describe this place, Hop's Kitchen, to someone who hasn't been here?
Good quality, made-to-order food, locally sourced, and we just do the best we can.
All right, so Hop's Kitchen is called Burgers with Buck. You got several on the menu, but this is kind of your special right now. This is called the Southern Gentleman, right?
Correct.
All right, there's something special about this burger as well, but first let's talk about the Southern Gentleman in general. How do you build one of those? Tell us all about it.
All right, well, this is our house-made pimento cheese with house-cured pancetta. We put arugula and pickle onion on it, and it's basically the ultimate bacon cheeseburger.
I love it, the ultimate bacon cheeseburger. But if you want to make it even the beyond ultimate bacon cheeseburger, there's ways you can do that as well. Hop on a Cure. First of all, tell us what that is, and you have a personal connection to it.
I do. My brother was diagnosed with ALS, and he started a foundation called Hop on a Cure, and during the month of May, we donated our burger sales to ALS, and our community has donated this amazing beef to us to pay it forward. And this beef is a mixture of brisket, short rib, and chuck. And we're just doing all we can to donate and to cure ALS.
So if you order the burger and ask for this beef, then the proceeds go to ALS research.
We have my brother's style of burger that he likes, but you can get it any style that we serve.
You're being a little modest, I think. The people may know who your brother is, right?
Yeah, he is. He's John Driscoll Hopkins of the Zach Brown Band.
Well, that's really cool. That's awesome. I love the family connection. I love that you're helping out.
Absolutely.
We've talked about it a lot. I think I'm ready to taste it.
All right.
All right. Can I hand you this? Is that okay?
Absolutely.
All right. Here we go. Oh wait, forgot to show these. Right. If you get one, you get one of these. If you get the beef, you get one of these too, right?
Bracelet.
I better put that on before I eat this, just to make sure. All right. Hop on a cure. I'm about to hop on this burger. There it is right there. The Southern Gentleman. Whether I am one or not is debatable, but this burger certainly is. You know what? I like my burgers just the way your brother does. That is delicious. Good food, good cause. That equals 2 thumbs up.
Right. All right.
All right. Appreciate it, guys.
Hey,
Thank
so
you.
much.
All right. And our final stop this week, the Battery. How about a great burger paired with a great glass of wine? We were so excited about this, we decided to invite another member of the crew. All right, this week, Burgers with Buck, we are back at Truist Park because there's a huge series coming to town. The Braves and the Mets for 4 games beginning on Monday. I can't even get through it. I'm so choked up about it, Chef. I'm hanging out with Sean. We're here at Crew Wine and Food Bar, right? Did I say it right?
Crew Food and Wine Bar.
I almost had it. Crew Food and Wine, but you know, food's important to me too. So tell us about the place real quick.
We are a wine bar
that
serves great food. We have over 300 bottles of wine on our list behind us, and we sell anything from cheese boards down to filet mignons.
Sounds good. And burgers too, right?
Correct.
Yeah. All right. So we got a little treat for you this week. All right. I don't know where your red shirt is. Did you not get the memo?
I didn't get it.
Look who's here. Look who I bumped into. You know, we work for the same company apparently, but we almost never cross paths.
And we're almost never wearing the same shirt at the same time.
But whenever we cross paths, we're wearing this red shirt, right? What's up, Christine? How are you?
Hey, excited to be here. I heard you needed some help with these burgers, so.
Well, I wanted to get your expert opinion, right?
That's right.
I'm just glad to know you like burgers. All right. Let's talk about this place. So first of all, tell us about the burger. It's called the Napa Burger, right? Build it for us. Talk us through it from the bottom to top. How do you put one together?
We have a Napa Burger here, and we start with some seasoned arugula on the bottom. Buy a nice beefsteak tomato. Then we have our seasoned Angus patty with caramelized onions, melted humble fog cheese, and the top bun is topped with fig jam, and then topped off with some Cornichon pickles.
You ever had fig jam before?
I haven't had fig jam. How do you like come up with the idea of how to put this burger together?
Well, we just look at different flavors. The Humboldt Fog has a cow's and sheep's milk. So with the caramelized onions, the acidity, the sweetness, all comes together on this burger.
All right, we got to talk about this because this is not always available, right? It's very special, specialized time. And if you're heading out to the park, getting ready for this big series, it is available at some point this weekend, right?
Yes, it will be available on, we can make it available, but typically it's available on Saturdays and Sundays.
Okay, for your brunch menu?
For my brunch menu.
All right.
Correct.
I know what we're doing
I think
on
I'm
Saturday.
available, yeah.
Are you available?
Free, yeah.
All right. He's available, I'm available.
Yep. If you come out here during the games, we will have it.
All right. I didn't know you were such a burger lover. I mean, so.
Okay, I love anything food.
All right, let's go ahead and lift the curtain. So we're out here wearing the same shirt because we're shooting a promotion spot together.
That's right. That's right.
And she said, if I'm going to have to shoot a promotion spot with Buck, he better feed me a burger. Did you not?
You're making me sound like a diva, but I did say that. I said I'm only doing it if he's bringing burgers.
And I said, okay. I called her bluff, and here we are, right?
He did. I'm glad I did.
Now you're going to get to open your mouth wide and take a big old bite of a burger on TV like I have to do every week.
No
all right?
shame in my
you
game.
Ready?
I'm ready.
You ready?
Yeah.
Chef, can I hand you this? And
sure
listen,
can.
listen. You feel free to do a play-by-play of anything. If if her bite's too big or too small or whatever you think. You just have fun with it, okay?
got you.
Okay.
You want to do it this like synchronized swimming or you want to go? Let's come, ladies first.
Oh, you're
ladies
gonna
first.
make
Yeah.
me go
Go ahead.
first.
Let's see what you think.
Okay,
All right.
All right. So I'm gonna take this off here.
Okay.
Get a good little look at this. Now I like to study all the layers.
Okay. There's some layers.
Before I, take.
That's
a
a
good
mouthful,
bite of it.
Christine.
Oh, look at that fig jam.
Mm.
That looks amazing. All right, here we go.
Don't give us a reaction yet. I want you to think about it for a second, okay? Take it all in. I'm going to go ahead and try one too. Here we go. The Napa burger, right here. What do you think of her bite?
Oh, it was a great bite.
Great bite.
She got all the flavors in one.
You ain't seen nothing yet, Chef. Watch this. Here we go.
Oh wow!
Oh, wow.
Have you had a chance to think about it? I want you to look at that camera right now, and with the hand gesture, show me what you think of it.
Well, I'm gonna have to slap somebody because it's that.
Was that
good.
the hand gesture?
And you're closest to me right now.
That was not what I was thinking of, but
No, it's
there it is.
amazing. Listen, the fig jam is the star, I think, of this show right now.
Yeah.
I've never had fig jam on a burger, and it's amazing.
It's really good.
Yeah.
You had us at Fig Jam. Chef, thanks a lot. You give it a thumbs up? There's another one right there. All right, we'll see you at brunch. Hey, wear your red shirt, okay?
Okay, I will.
All right?
I got it.
All
I got the memo.
There we go. Well, thank you again for watching Burgers with Buck Second Helping as we look back on some of our great burger memories through the years. If you've got a favorite that you'd like to see featured, just let us know. Follow us on Instagram at Burgers with Buck. And don't forget to watch Burgers with Buck Friday mornings at 8:20 on Good Day Atlanta. And until next time.
Welcome back to Fox 5 News Now. I'm Judea Murray. Thank you so much for streaming with us, whether you're on Fox Local, YouTube, or any other way that you were able to pick us up. We do have a major update to some breaking news that we got you out of Southwest Atlanta just about an hour ago. Alexa Liaco's at the scene where we just learned that this deadly shooting was officer involved. Alexa, what else do you know?
Hey there, we're out on McDaniel Street Southwest in Southwest Atlanta at the Heritage Station apartment complex. We now know that this was an officer-involved shooting. Want to step out so you can kind of see the scene. Really active Fulton County Police along with Atlanta Police and Atlanta Fire out here on the scene. More than a dozen officer vehicles kind of barricading off the front entrance to this apartment complex. I want to direct your attention to the Fulton County Police SUV that's parked right at the front in this driveway here. You can see the back window is broken. We're not sure if that was shot out or broken by some other means, but we did speak with some neighbors. They didn't want to go on camera, but here's what they had to say. They said earlier this morning, several hours ago now, they were in their house Sunday morning, as per usual, pretty quiet in this neighborhood. They said typically they heard a man kind of walking around the apartment complex, and another neighbor had asked the Fulton County Police officer who lives in this complex as well to come kind of check out this guy who was carrying a piece of metal. Not sure what he was doing, but this older gentleman who lives in the complex asked the officer to intervene and see what was going on. Some words were exchanged between them, neighbors tell us, and then seconds later they said they heard 2 to 3 gunshots go off, and that man who had that piece of metal was kind of walking around the complex. Neighbors said acting sort of suspiciously, was killed. Now, we do know that no officers were injured in this shooting, so some small shred of good news there, but we're still working to confirm what exactly led up to the shooting, what happened between the officer and the man who was shot and killed, and who that man is. So still a lot of questions. We do also now know that the GBI will be coming in and taking over this investigation, so we will be getting our updates from them as soon as they get on the scene and can kind of collect some details of what went on. So we will bring you those details as soon as we get them. But for now, still a lot of officers out here. The medical examiner has yet to arrive, so still a lot of work to be done.
Alexa, I mean, you're right. There are still a lot of questions, but I'm happy that you were able to get us some of these answers live right here within the hour. Thank you very, very much. So, back here at the station, again, looking outside, it is a gorgeous sunny day, and I hope that that's how things are going to stay. Let's pop over to Fox 5 Storm Team meteorologist Alex Forbes. Alex, what do you have for us in the forecast today?
Yeah, Judea, some interesting things going on over here in the weather department, to put it mildly. It is sunny outside, but it's also hazy, and that's thanks to wildfires that are thousands of miles away right now in parts of southern Canada. That smoke is coming across Minnesota, across the Midwest, and all the way down into the southeastern United States, and that is the haziness you're seeing over downtown right now. Starting off in the upper 50s, low 60s this morning. Well, Atlanta sailed right on through to 75 now. We're not going to stop there. We're going to continue to warm into the low 80s this afternoon across the area. We've got 71 in Canton, hanging on to 69 by a thread there in Blairsville, 73 in Gainesville, 76 in Athens, 71 in Canton, and 71 over in Carrollton. Fox 5 Live Viper is completely quiet. Not necessarily expecting it to stay that way through the day today. I think we could mix in some isolated showers across the area before the day is said and done. Speaking of rain, with May now in the books, we officially picked up just over 7 inches of rain at Hartsfield-Jackson. That puts us more than 3.5 inches above an average May. This was actually needed. We started 2025 on a relatively dry note. Well, now not so much as we take a look across the area. Okay, so here's what we've got on the docket for the rest of the day. 20% chance of showers through the afternoon hours. Temperatures, getting into the low 80s. That's going to happen around 4 or 5 o'clock. By and large, the majority of the afternoon is going to be defined by the 70s across the area rather than the 80s. It's just that's going to be our warmest temperature. 82 in Canton, 80 over in Gainesville, 83 in Athens, 84 in Eatonton, 82 in LaGrange, 79 in Carrollton, and 83 over in Rome. Now, today is actually going to be the coolest day. It's not going to be cool, but the coolest day over the course of the next 7. 85 tomorrow, 87 by the time we get to Tuesday. And we are going to be building in some humidity across the area as that heat builds in. So as we start June, looking at it, feeling like June across the area, feeling like summertime. This is not going to be July and August level stuff, but it is going to be certainly a change. Then for tonight, 63. Any cloud cover we have is going to clear. We also could see some breaks in the smoke out there, and that is perfect conditions aligning for the potential to see some northern lights. All right, so the best viewing, if we're able to see them, and it's a big if, is going to be away from city lights between 11 tonight and 2 tomorrow morning. That timing could fluctuate, so check back through the day for updates. And again, it's not guaranteed in North Georgia, but it's a decent chance. We've got what's called a G4 geomagnetic storm, and that puts us right on the cusp. But it's a very thin needle to thread. If the storm is any weaker, and I mean the slightest bit weaker than it's forecasted to be, then that would cut us out of the picture. So 20% chance of showers today, 20% for tomorrow, 87 there for Tuesday, 88 on Wednesday. That's going to be as humidity is on the increase. Then by the time we get to Thursday and Friday, that humidity is going to give way to some showers and storms. But Judea, that is going to be more of the summertime variety. It's not going to be like that last pattern we had last week where we had various tornadoes across the area. Today's June 1st, also the start of hurricane season. We're going to be talking about that, taking a look back to 2024 and ahead through the season coming up in just a little bit. Judea?
All right, thanks, Alex. I know I like like a lot of people who are probably streaming out there with us are crossing our fingers that 20% stays low. We do not want rain today. It is too gorgeous of a day right now. If you have plans later on, like maybe even the Braves who are they facing? The Red Sox tonight, right? Out there in Truist Park. Maybe you're going to the game, or maybe you want to hit the Renaissance Festival out in Fairburn. And that brings us to photojournalist Eli Jordan, who is out there now. He's been out there all morning covering the preview of the festival, but doors should have opened and we may see some people flocking in. Eli, can you tell us a little bit about what you're seeing now?
Hey, Judea, yeah, the doors open up at 10:30, and I'll tell you what, if you lose my signal, I blame the geomagnetic storm from the sun heading our way. So, but yeah, it's the 40th season of the Georgia Renaissance Fair, and this is the last day of an 8-week run. And so, the doors just opened up at 10:30. They haven't sold. Yesterday they sold out. This is a very popular event, and but they're not sold out yet. If you go to garenfest.com, you can see if they're sold out and buy yourself a ticket. If you have nothing else to do, you can come out, bring your kids out here. You can get yourself a tankard of beer, do whatever. And I found the Raven's Nest, which is a really cool spot. It smells really good here. And also found Lady Raven. Hello, Lady Raven.
Hello.
And so tell me, you have been doing the Georgia Renaissance Fair for quite some time, yes?
36 years out of the 40. Yes,
And
I have.
So what is it about the Renaissance that keeps you coming back and actually participating, being a part of it?
Yeah, the people, the quality of craftsmanship from many of the vendors here. A lot of everything you see here is handmade. We make everything here by hand. And people that were customers once, they've turned into friends, lifelong friends. We've got people like that. The people who work for me, we've known for years, those old and new. And they're like family as well now. It's just a lot of fun. It's a de-stressor, very important in today. And that's one of the reasons I went to it. In a high-stress job, a friend recommended that I do something like this, and he was correct. It's lasted 36 years now.
And so, Lady Raven, what all do you make? What is your items?
I'm a master herbalist, so I make herbs, spices, teas. I have live plants for sale. We make our own incense right here, and we custom blend essential and fragrance oils. We'll make custom scents for people.
Yeah, I mean, that's something I noticed. Walking by, I smell the incense.
Yeah.
And it's just, it takes me back from when I was a young hippie in my high school days, and it was just like I was drawn to it. And over here, you got a stage too, right?
Yes.
It's like you got vendors, you got entertainment, you got food. I mean, just and what do we have over here? I guess the washing
It's a comedy
winches.
show, the washing well winches.
Okay, yeah.
You're going to get wet. They sling water at you. But they're hysterical. They do a good show. We've got some fantastic food, especially in my end of the fair, where you have the brulee and the lavender lemonade. There are beignets. The same man makes beignets near the front. His restaurant is down the way, Cafe Hiblé. And that's not just fair food. That's really excellent meal food here, too.
And I got to ask you this. Today's the last day of the 2-month run, 8-week run.
Yes.
8-week run.
8 weeks.
Do you get kind of sad, when it's wrapping up?
We do. We do. But we're exhausted, too. All of us, at least for my crowd, have weekday jobs as well, full-time weekday jobs. So this is very exhausting for 8 straight weeks, but we love it. And this is our happy place. It's where we can laugh, where we can play, where we can create and welcome new friends.
Awesome, cool. Well, thank you so much, Lady Raven. I appreciate it. And Judea, you heard it here that you got some really good food. It's not just fair food; it's real good food. And people are already starting to line up down here. I don't know if you see them very well in the distance. I don't want to move too much because I got a good signal here.
Yeah, I totally understand.
But the bell ringers are happening, and I think jousting's going to be starting up in about 15 minutes.
That's going to be exciting. I hope that when we come back to you later, we see something cool like that happening. I did see some of the people walking in with the floor-length dresses on. And speaking of the food, I will be very upset with you if you do not bring back a turkey leg, one of those beignets, and some of that lavender lemonade that she was talking about. Sounds amazing. Well, we'll catch up with Eli Jordan in a little bit, but I do want to get you guys the 2-minute break. We'll be back with more content, more events after this commercial.
Fox 5 Live the Fox 5 Radio 1 network. Just tune your HD radio to 107.9 HD2 FM.
Hey guys, welcome back to Fox 5 News Now. I'm Judea Murray. I truly hope that I'm not jinxing anything when I say we have just entered a hurricane season. June 1st was the beginning of it. It's going to run until November 30th, and they are anticipating that this is going to be an above normal hurricane season. We're going to be joined by Fox 5 Storm Team meteorologist Alex Forbes, who has a lot more information on what that means and what we're anticipating. Alex, actually, it looks like we lost you for a second. I will tell you guys that there are nearly 20 storms that we're expecting this hurricane season. About 6 to 10 of them could become hurricanes, which is anywhere between 74 miles per hour and up. 3 to 5 of them could become major hurricanes, which constitutes as a category 3. And there are a lot of different things that you can do to be prepared. We actually got to speak to an expert who we'll get some information on a little later. And actually, it looks like we may have Alex back. Alex, can you hear me?
Yes,
And
I
if
can.
so,
Can you hear me?
Tell us a little bit about hurricane season.
Okay, yeah, let's do it. Let me walk back over here real quick. So yeah, we saw an active season last year. We saw a lot of named storms across the Gulf, the Caribbean, and as we take a look at this over the course of the whole season, right, you had some out in the Atlantic, but the focus was really here in the Caribbean and the Gulf. When all was said and done, last year we had 18 named storms, 10 hurricanes, 5 major hurricanes, and 12 landfalls. Now, that's not 12 storms that made landfall necessarily. What that instead means is 12 points were hit by hurricanes. So hurricanes could have made multiple landfalls, and some of those did just that. Here's a closer look at the Gulf. Of course, we had a number of U.S. impacts: Beryl, Francine, Helene, over towards Milton and Debbie as well. So we're going to continue to watch the Gulf Coast for things like that. Okay, so here's Hurricane Beryl. It had a long history. It got started over in the Caribbean, made its way through the Caribbean, crossed the Yucatan into the Gulf, made landfall near Matagorda, Texas. At its peak, it had winds of 165 miles an hour. And I think the thing that Beryl is going to be most remembered for is its power outages in the Houston area. There was a ton of wind in the Houston area, and that was one of the largest impacts in the United States. A couple weeks later, we had Hurricane Debbie, winds of 80 miles an hour. Yeah, 26 tornadoes, 11 U.S. fatalities. The max U.S. rainfall was 22 inches. You might remember we saw a number of flooding scenarios down along coastal Georgia. Then we had Francine a couple weeks after Debbie. That made landfall as a Category 2 there. That's going to be near Terrebonne Parish in Louisiana, and that dissipated over Mississippi. Then came Helene. Obviously, we remember Helene very well here in metro Atlanta and North Georgia. At its peak intensity, it had winds of 140 miles an hour. Lowest pressure was 939, made landfall in Perry, Florida, and then tracked just to the east of Atlanta. And that was an important delineation because had it have been any closer, we would have looked at some more significant impacts here in the city. And of course, it caused a lot of flooding up in western North Carolina, with some spots getting over 3 feet of rain. Hurricane Milton, this was actually the strongest hurricane of the year, with a pressure down to 895 millibars. Okay, so what are we looking at for 2025? Colorado State forecast calls for 17 named storms, 9 hurricanes, 4 major hurricanes here in the Atlantic Basin. The NOAA forecast is pretty similar, with those numbers falling in line. That was just released on May 22nd. One of the things we look at whenever we're trying to delineate the forecast here is what the ENSO is doing. That's basically the temperature of the waters in the equatorial Pacific Ocean. And you're going, Alex, why are you looking at the Pacific Ocean? Well, the winds that develop over that water, which is directly related to the temperature, then move over the Atlantic. So that's why we look at that. And that's expected to be near average, which means there's not going to be anything to necessarily help hurricane development, but there's also not going to be anything to stand in the way of it in the Atlantic Basin. So that's a key driver here. Once the season gets started, the first name on the list is going to be Andrea, followed by Barry, Chantel, and then Dexter. And that's a new name on the list that replaced Dorian from the last time this list was used. Now, whenever we're doing a hurricane forecast, something else we can do is take a look at previous years and when the conditions were similar. So we created a list here of when the weather was similar for really March, April, and May, leading into June across the globe. These are the years we come up with. And notice that some of these years, right, you get only 10 named storms in 2006, only 2 major hurricanes. Meanwhile, 2017, you get 17 named storms, 10 hurricanes, and 6 major hurricanes. So that just kind of shows you the range, right? Just because we have this forecast right now does not necessarily guarantee an above average season. It just increases the likelihood. Now, of course, whenever we're watching hurricanes, our ears go up whenever we get to categories 3, 4, and 5. That's going to be your major hurricanes, winds of 111 plus miles an hour. Last year, we saw a number of them, and this year we're going to have the opportunity to see some more. This is according to that Colorado State forecast I just showed you. The entire U.S. coastline has a 51% chance of seeing a major hurricane make landfall. A 26% chance of that happening along the East Coast, which will include the entire Florida Peninsula. So basically from the Big Bend around and then up the U.S. coast. And then also the Gulf Coast, 1 in 3 chance. That's going to be from the Big Bend over across Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, and over to Texas. One other number that really sticks out at me, and this is going to be important in case you have any cruises planned, a 56% chance of a major hurricane in the Caribbean here before the season is all said and done. So here we go. Buckle up. It gets underway today, June 1st, the start of hurricane season. That tropical activity is really going to ramp up as we get into the months ahead. Really, the peak time for hurricanes is going to be August. The peak date is September 10th, and then that will be winding down by the time we get to October and November, with the season officially wrapping up on November 30th. Judea?
Thanks, Alex. And so just checking in with you guys, I mean, the next question that you want to ask after you've learned everything that you can about hurricane season is, when disaster strikes, are you going to be prepared? We talked to an expert, and we'll have some insight from the American Red Cross when we come back from this break. Well, welcome back to News Now. I'm not sure if you're aware, but June 1st today is the start of hurricane season. It's going to last all the way until November 30th. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration actually says that it's probably going to be a very rough one for the Southeast. In fact, 60% above normal activity. We're expecting nearly 20 named storms, 6 to 10 of them being hurricanes, and 3 to 5 of them possibly becoming major hurricanes. So we wanted to sit down with someone from the American Red Cross to talk about hurricane preparedness. We're sitting down with Suzanne Lawler today. Suzanne, welcome.
Hey, thanks so much for having me on.
Of course. So, I mean, given the data that I just gave you, how concerned are you guys about this upcoming hurricane season?
Well, the American Red Cross is responding to nearly double the amount of major disasters that we did even a decade ago. So we are in continual response. But right now, we really want to encourage families to be in preparedness mode. And that can take a couple of different avenues that we're going to discuss. First, have a plan, know where you're going to go, and how you're going to get there. So, you know, if you're in an evacuation zone, you need to know that now. If you are evacuating out of your neighborhood, you may need to have a couple of different routes to get out of your neighborhood. You may need to have a couple of different routes to get out of your city. Take everyone in your family under consideration. Now, in our family, my parents just moved here from Florida because of those hurricanes. But under evacuation, we need to take into consideration 3 kids, 2 dogs, and 2 elderly parents. So those are things to know, hey, let's think about this right now and have a plan.
So with that, I mean, one of the things that you mentioned is that evacuation plan, and you want to make sure that you're taking into account all of the different types of people that you have in your household. How do you go about deciding where you're going to go? What are some of the important things to take into account? You mentioned elderly family members.
Absolutely. So with elderly family members, well, we could break it down into 3 different age groups. Kids, we have children. Kids, you want to bring in you're going to have 2 kits. You're going to have a to-go 3-day kit and a stay-at-home kit. Now, the to-go kit should cover you for about 3 days, whether you're going to evacuate to a shelter or to a hotel of that kind of a nature. In that to-go kit, you want important things, especially your important documents. Those are going to be things like your homeowner's insurance, your insurance, maybe birth certificates. In our family, we have a little binder that we can grab at a moment's notice and put it in that kit and go. If you're going to shelter at home, keep in mind that you may be without power for a couple of weeks. So you want that 2-week kit, and I brought a couple of things to show you.
Yeah,
you want to go with flashlights. Look at this.
Hey,
These are going to be a lot safer. These are going to be a lot safer than candles. Candles are definitely a hazard for home fires. So this is solar powered actually. So this is a fantastic flashlight. You want to have these in your kit. Power banks to charge your cell phone, always useful. First aid kit. And you're also going to want to have those important papers in case a tree falls on your house or something like that. You kind of know food and water, right? But make sure that you have a can opener for those canned goods. I mean, that's kind of one of those little things that we forget. And when it comes to water, you want to have 1 gallon per person per day. So you're really going to need to stock up on that water.
Okay. 1 gallon per person per day. Phone bank, of course, we're going to have to charge our phones. When power goes out, here's something that I found interesting. I saw somebody say that you should have cash on hand because your phone might go dead. A lot of us use digital forms of payment. You're probably not going to be able to get to an ATM because, again, those things are dead. So have cash on hand as well. I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's definitely, and I think these go into that, let's make a plan now. Do we want to keep cash on hand? How much cash on hand? That kind of thing. And these are those things that as long as you're having these conversations now and making these plans, you're going to be in a much better situation because think about it. When a hurricane watch or warning comes down the line, there's a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of apprehension. So you're going to have that extra level of insurance by being prepared right now.
Now, if it's all right with you, I would like to go back to the evacuations real quick because a couple of weeks ago, we had some really bad weather here in Metro Atlanta area, and we had a phone call in. It was a mother who said that her son, who's on the spectrum, couldn't go to some of the places that we were telling them that they could evacuate to whether it was that the area was going to be too loud or maybe lights were going to be too much for them. And so I understand the Red Cross also offers evacuation zones. Can you talk to that?
I can tell you that everyone, and I mean everyone, is welcome in Red Cross shelters. And it's funny that you bring this up because I like to say that our shelter workers, and I've talked to them, especially after I deployed for Hurricane Helene last year, they have some of the most biggest hearts. And the Red Cross's mission is to alleviate human suffering, to meet people where they are. And some of these shelter workers that I've talked to, and one just this morning who's a 50-year volunteer with the Red Cross, he said, I'm here to help people wherever that is, wherever they are. And that includes people living with disabilities. We are here to help. I talked to another shelter worker over the summer who said, sometimes people just need to talk. They need to tell their story and they need a hug. So, you know, people are going to meet you where you are.
That's beautiful. And thank you for answering that question. I wanted to make sure that we got an answer for her because I didn't have one in the moment. Well, another big thing that we mentioned is making sure that you're staying alert. So some of the ways that you can make sure that you're getting like the Fox 5 Storm Team app notifications sent directly to your phone. Fox Local also sends out those push alerts as soon as we know that there's something big happening in the weather, those developments, we get that out to you. And then the Red Cross also has things available on your website, and you guys have an app.
Yeah, this is amazing. And I really want to say, like, before you tune out and go, the last thing I need on my phone is another app, right? This Red Cross emergency app, and my phone just went to sleep. Let me bring it up while we're talking here. This Red Cross emergency app does amazing things. So we talked a lot today about things that you need to have in checklists for your family. This actually gives you modules so you can go through with your family. It's very kid friendly and go through those checklists and then make sure that you're prepared. Also, in the case of a hurricane or a storm or a tornado, the Red Cross emergency app actually shows you where shelters are opening up in your area. One more thing with the Red Cross emergency app, it has a toolkit on it. So it has a superpowered flashlight and it has a siren. So let's say you get stuck in your house under a tree, God forbid, that kind of a thing. If you can get to your phone and you have the Red Cross app, there's a really loud siren. I'm not going to turn it on now because it is.
Please don't blow up my eardrums.
No, but it is really loud. So there are some really amazing things on this Red Cross emergency app. So if your viewers are going to want to follow your Fox 5 weather alerts, you can also get weather alerts with your emergency management people.
Beautiful. Thank you for explaining all that. And of course, our digital team does a really good job of compiling this kind of information. Again, when disaster strikes, when the weather gets terrible, all that stuff is available on Fox Local and www.fox5atlanta.com. Suzanne, I really want to thank you for getting our viewers prepared for anything that happens this hurricane season. I pray that it all goes well, that no one gets flooded out, but you know, it is Georgia. So thank you.
Thank you for having me on.
Of course. We're going to get you guys out there streaming with us, a 2-minute break, and then we're going to have more content right after this. Thank you. welcome back to Fox 5 News Now. I'm Judea Murray. Thank you so much for choosing to stream your news, your headlines, and all of that good stuff with us. We heard that there's going to be a pretty amazing visual spectacle out there in the sky. You may know it as the Northern Lights. We may get lucky and be able to see them in parts of Georgia. But I want to get out to Fox 5 Storm Team meteorologist Alex Forbes, who has more information on who will be able to see it, what you can expect, and I guess that's all supposed to happen tonight. Alex, what's going on?
And as we look at this through the evening hours tonight, we are going to be watching for the possibility of northern lights in North Georgia. Now, the key word is possibility. This is not a guarantee as we look at this through the evening hours tonight. Here's what we've got going on. It's a G4 geomagnetic storm. That is the official classification of what's going on. Basically, there was a solar flare from the sun. I'm going to show you some more information on it, but let's not bury the lead. 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. If we're going to see anything here in North Georgia, that's going to be your time. That's when your KP number is going to be at its highest. Now, you might be remembering back to last year when we saw the northern lights, not only here in Metro Atlanta and North Georgia, but as far south as Florida. That was a 9 on a scale of 1 to 9. This is going to be a 7.67. So we are right there in the range of being on the cusp of being able to see it. If the forecast is off by any, then we're not going to be able to see it. If it overdoes itself, then it's a slam dunk, literally right there on the cusp. So here are a couple of the scenarios. First and foremost, generally speaking, no matter what happens, you will always have better luck seeing the auroras away from city lights. All right. So I think a worst case scenario is we don't see anything. There's also a world where you don't see anything on the cameras or with your eyes near city lights, but if you're away from city lights, you could see something with your camera. That's like what happened a couple weeks after that big event last year. Then there's also a world where if you're near city lights, maybe you can only see it with your phone camera, but if you're away from city lights, that's when you're able to see it with your camera and with your eyes. And if this just overdoes itself, I want to emphasize this is not the expectation, right? This is it overperforming, then you would be able to see it with your cameras and your eyes, no matter the city light, and then away from city lights as well. That's going to be a possibility as we look at that into the overnight hours. So here's what happens, all right? There's the sun. You get what's called a solar wind, which is basically a release of energy from the sun, which makes its way towards Earth. And as it does so, it runs into Earth's magnetic field, right? We've got that around us at all times, and that creates the solar storm. And sometimes those charged particles that come from the solar wind will gravitate towards the poles of the Earth. And then when that runs into the magnetic field, you get it running into nitrogen and oxygen, and that interaction is what creates the color in the sky. So yes, it's all science as we look at this into the night hours, and the waves, that's from the magnetic field around the Earth, right? That's literally magnet waves moving through the sky. So that's what we would be seeing in the northern Georgia skies tonight. So again, it's not a guarantee. It's possible tonight. We'll say from 11 to 2 o'clock. It's not guaranteed, but it's a decent chance. Fingers crossed. Cross everything as we work our way into the night tonight. Judea?
Hey, thanks, Alex, so much for explaining a little bit more about the Northern Lights. I really hope that we get a chance to see them. I'll actually be out there in North Georgia. I know it's slim chance, but, you know, slim is better than none. So bringing it back into the studio, we are going to take a break real quick, but when we come back, we are going to speak to Fox 5 I-Team reporter Dana Fowle, who has been following this piece for about 2 years now. A luxury home builder is in the courts, and it seems to be facing some charges and is suing himself. So we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back after this.
we saw Michael Muffley in court was the end of 2022, so it's been a minute. And it was an unusual case. This is a builder to some of Atlanta's more well-to-do, and he was charged criminally with conversion of payments. Now, his clients claim they would pay him for a build, but sometimes that money would go to other contracts and construction. And then the case didn't really move much. Again, it was 2022 until this happened.
Good morning, Mr. Muffley.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Home builder Michael Muffley appeared in Fulton County Superior Court from a virtual location. His attorney spoke for him in person at his arraignment hearing.
Way formal.
All right,
And that was that. He passed on a public plea and having criminal charges officially read to the court. Mr. Muffley had previously been indicted for conversion of payments for real property improvements, a felony. His former clients claimed he took a lot of money from them and didn't use it toward their home build.
I have never profited from Muffley Homes.
The last time the Fox 5i team saw him in court was November 2022, and then he talked a lot.
I've been in Atlanta 22 years. I've been in real estate the entire time.
According to state records, he is still a realtor, but his company, Muffley Homes, has administratively dissolved. But at the time, it was advertised as Master Luxury Builders offering full design build services.
I'm not an accountant. I'm not a licensed builder. What I did is I made an attempt to put all of the pieces of the puzzle together, and I count on other people to do what I hire them to do.
He would buy the lots, hire the architects, facilitate the financing, then hire the contractors. He dealt with high-end buyers with high-end expectations.
Because we had so many issues with past builders, what was to create a more transparent system.
But how he ran his program got him arrested at the end of that hearing. His client, Casey Asarch, at the time testified to fuzzy accounting, not transparency.
Our account was drained and emptied by the time we terminated our contract.
Between the pandemic backlog and Fulton County's busy docket, it's been 2.5 years since his first court appearance. But in that time, there have been two other big developments. In March 2024, he sued his one-time bookkeeper who testified for the prosecution.
The money was taken out of the Asarch's job account and then placed into another client's job account.
Muffley claims she stole his personal property, downloaded files, took trade secrets, mishandled duties, and more, causing him to lose clients. He also accused her of defamation. There are no court records that showed she defended herself, so the judge ordered a default judgment. Michael Muffley was awarded $3.2 million. The judgment, it reads, is based upon the evidence heard and for good cause shown. The Fox 5i team reached out to Ms. Adams for comment, but we did not hear back. A month later, Muffley's company, MDM Opportunity Ventures, filed for bankruptcy. The Asarches are among 45 listed creditors. Mr. Muffley is expected back in court in September.
You can be excused, sir, unless you need to speak to your attorney, but you can be excused at this particular time and enjoy the rest of your day, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
That is a whirlwind of a story that you had there, Dana.
Right. And, it's been one of those stories that's been going on for years for us because, I'm thinking I'm going back to 2022, earlier than that, where we were getting a lot of folks who had their house built through the Muffley Home system calling us saying they had questions about the quality of the homes. And we did a story with a family that talked about the quality of their home, and that home is now being disassembled in some way and reassembled. Now, I can't tell you if it was because of the Muffley home or because of I think they were having problems with the windows, but it was part of the whole system. Mm-hmm. But, they felt like Mr. Muffley was the overseer of that project. But what you're seeing for this one is a criminal case, which was altogether different and very unusual when you talk about a builder to file criminal charges or ask a judge to take a look at this criminally. So it was very different.
Yeah, this is a lot. Speaking of the criminal charges, what are the charges?
It's a conversion of payments is what it is. And what the client, Casey Asarch, said in court was that they paid Muffley Homes X amount of dollars and expected that money to be used on their project and their project alone. They alleged, and the bookkeeper said and supported, in her testimony that some of that money went to other projects. Mr. Muffley disputed that and said it didn't happen that way, but it was a warrant hearing, and the judge found enough evidence there to arrest him for a conversion of payment.
Dana, is it normal for it to take so long to go from the charge to the hearing?
And that is a really good question, because when it came back up, we were like, oh my goodness, we kind of had put this in the back of our minds. No, this isn't traditionally how this works. Now, this was coming out of COVID, backlogs in courts. That was a terrible problem. And so, and this was in Fulton County. And there were a lot of things going on in Fulton County. Fulton County had sort of a natural backlog system anyway. And the courts also wanted to get to things that were a lot more pressing in terms of public safety, that sort of thing. So this wasn't the highest on the list. Additionally, Fulton County at the time, the district attorney's office was very, very busy with pursuing at the time, former President Donald Trump and those cases. And that took precedent, and the manpower and the woman power there focused on that. That case is out of the way. Some of the backlog is now loosened up. So these things are moving forward. So it is odd that in 2022, you have an arrest, but it's not till end of 24, I believe, that there was an indictment. And now we're having this warrant hearing here at the end of spring. So that is a long time, and it is unusual. But according to the judge, things would be moving forward this summer.
Okay, well, that's good to know. And of course, I'm assuming you'll be staying on top of things.
We will. And I'm sure, you know, the Ace Arches, the family, I'm sure they'd like to get this moving. And I'm sure Mr. Muffley would also like to get this moving, too. And everybody would like some sort of resolution.
I'm sure. Well, I heard you call Muffley a high-end builder. What does that mean?
You know, there were these glossy, beautiful advertisements. Okay. And these homes were absolutely advertised there, were absolutely stunning. And the exterior of some of the homes you would see that he participated, his group, in the building of were amazing homes looking from the outside in. These were they were the dream home, and they were very, very expensive. And part of what he promised to do was, I mean, he'll tell you he wasn't a licensed contractor himself. He is a licensed realtor. So what he said he wanted to do was create this sort of umbrella company where he would, you know, help facilitate all of the processes, which would be buying the land, the real estate transaction, assisting in finance, getting a builder, and bringing the whole project together. And he would sort of oversee how this would work. So it allowed for the home buyer to just sit down at a table and sort of knock it all out and be promised these sort of high-end values, which meant they had some high-end expectations.
Well, so he's not just in court, as I understand, for other people and their accusations. He's also sued.
Indeed. And this has really been an interesting twist. He had a bookkeeper at the time who had said to many folks that she questioned how he did business, and she was not comfortable with how he did business. In the warrant hearing, she was there on behalf of the Ace Arches to talk about what she saw as a bookkeeper. The judge felt what she said was true enough, at least on the surface, that they could move forward with this warrant and eventually arrest him that day, technically book him. Go down the road a little bit, Michael Muffley sues her for a whole variety of things. And I sort of wrote this down because it's a lot. He claims she stole his personal property, downloaded files, took trade secrets, mishandled duties, a whole lot more, which caused him to lose client and defamation of character. And so there was a default judgment. He wins $3.2 million, something like that. And what that traditionally means is the person who is accused puts up no fight, puts up no legal fight, just doesn't respond, doesn't answer. We have called her to see, you know, what the process was, what her response is, and she has not returned our calls. But we, in looking through the court records, can find no evidence of her sort of putting up a legal fight or a legal argument. So when that happens, you have someone like Michael Muffley who will come back in and say, okay, like where do we go from here? And the judge
can issue a default judgment, meaning you've said these things, they were not disputed, so now we will give you the judgment in default. And that's what appears to have happened here. There was a default judgment. So it's a hefty amount of money.
It is. It
Yeah.
is. I was just going to clarify, just to be clear, we don't have any evidence that she has admitted to anything.
That's right.
It's just
That's a really, yes, there was no evidence that she admitted to any of these things. She just, according to court documents, appeared to not put up a legal fight.
Like I said, this is a lot.
That's a lot of money, and now he's going to have to collect that. Now, how do you collect it?
Yeah.
There's bank levies. They could put a lien on her property. They could garnish her wages. There are a whole lot of ways that you could go through this process. A lot of people don't have $3.2 million lying around.
no.
So, and this is, I'm not speaking to her case because I don't know how her case will work, but if someone, sued me for $3 million and I didn't have it, they could put a lien on my home. So let's say I had a $3 million farm or something like that, or land, and I sold that, this person could take that profit themselves just to get their legal judgment. Yeah, it's a legal judgment. Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, it is. It is.
This whirlwind of a cases.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, I mean, with all the things that he is facing and trying to deal with it and juggle, is he still in business?
I talked to one of his lawyers who said no. Now, he didn't expand on that, but we looked in state records, and he does have an active realtor's license.
Okay.
But Muffley Homes, this particular company that we have focused on, has filed for bankruptcy. My understanding through his attorney is that's no longer a functioning company. Now, I've asked Mr. Muffley if we could talk to him specifically about it, and he said he's not available for comment. And I understand he's in litigation and all sorts of things are going on. So he is, if you Google his name does come under a completely different company with another group. Now, is he still working with that group? I don't know. Is it related in any way? Doesn't appear to be, but I'm not exactly sure. But Muffley Homes, that group has filed for bankruptcy. His attorney says that's no longer a working group, one of his attorneys, and but he does have an active realtor's license.
Okay. And as far as we know, both sides are not responding with some of the questions that you have.
That's right. I mean, we asked. He picked up the phone when I called, and I said, "Hey, can we chat about this?" And he's like, "I can't right now. Maybe I'll talk to my lawyer." I didn't hear back. He has a series of lawyers. I talked to one of them, not the criminal, but the civil attorney, and we went back and forth on email and chatted a little bit. And he said, he's just not this company's just not actively available anymore.
Okay.
So.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, thank you for breaking down this particular case.
Yeah. It's one of those that it's when we go back and talk about this case it started years ago, but it seems to be moving again.
And some of the stories that you mentioned that you have covered since about 2022, we do still have available on Fox Local and fox5atlanta.com if you'd like to.
Yeah, and they would be on the iTeam shelf, so you can go in there and find all of these stories if you want to go back to the beginning and catch up and then just sort of go through it. These will be on the iTeam shelf.
I recommend it.
Yeah,
this is.
It's an intriguing story. It's an intriguing story, and home building always we all trying to find a home. And if you're in a position to have one built, the sort of anxiety and the appeal and the excitement all sort of balled together that something like this can bring. So it might touch a nerve with some folks.
I guarantee it will. And so I can't imagine that this is anybody's first time seeing you. But if it is, Dana Fowle is here on our iTeam, the Fox 5 iTeam. She does consumer stories. She also does investigative pieces.
That's right.
If you have a pitch that you want to get out to her, they can reach you.
They can absolutely email me, dana.fowle@fox.com. And it's Fowle, not Fowler, Fowle.
Well, we'll be back with some more content after this break. Hey guys, welcome back in. I want to get you some of the top headlines. This is the stuff that we're covering right now in the Fox 5 Atlanta newsroom. Starting in Midtown, we heard that a very popular eatery has burned down. The tacos and tequila on Ponce de Leon burned at around 4 a.m. Crews were called to try to put out what they could. We learned that this is a ventilation fire that eventually spread to the roof. And in fact, in order to try to get out what they could, they actually had to take apart some of the roof. So we do know that there is smoke damage inside the restaurant. We're not sure how long it could take to clean this up and to get things back up and running, if at all. But we will bring you the latest as soon as we hear more. Now, this could be a great time to update your passwords because we heard that there has been a large data breach and it affects pretty much everything that you use, right? 184 million passwords have been exposed. That could be through Apple, Google, any of your social media accounts, and maybe even your bank accounts. Here are some tips of what you can do to protect yourself in the future. Change your passwords on every platform you use, and do not use the same password for every platform. That is a huge no-no that every cybersecurity expert will tell you right off the bat. You should also try to use two-factor authentication, especially for financial accounts. That's what we have for you in the headlines. We'll be back after this break. Welcome back to Fox 5 News Now. I'm Judea Murray. Here's a little bit more of what's happening in the Metro Atlanta area that we are covering right now from the Fox 5 Atlanta newsroom. Just about an hour ago, we brought you breaking news and a breaking update on a shooting on McDaniel Street in Southwest Atlanta. At the time, we heard that a body was found. Prior to that, witnesses said they saw a man walking around their neighborhood holding what appeared to be some sort of metal object. The police were called. Suddenly, fires were shot. We do know that that person died, and now the Georgia Bureau of Investigation has opened an investigation into it. We're working to learn more, and as soon as we get more information, we will share that with you on Fox Local or fox5atlanta.com. Also, we learned more about 4 teenagers who were killed in a park, or excuse me, 4 teenagers who are in the hospital recovering after a shooting in Frisco Park in Snellville. My apologies there. That shooting happened around 9 p.m. on Saturday. We do know that the victims range anywhere between 14 to 17 years old, and witnesses who were at the scene said that there was some sort of argument between 2 big groups of people. and then shots were fired. There are a couple of other people who were injured. We don't have the exact amount. We also do not have any identification on any of the victims or any of the suspects. We also learned more about a burned body that was found on the top of Stone Mountain Park. A hiker was found severely burned at the top of the park around a overhang, which is kind of like a mini cave if you've never heard that word before. Now, the Georgia Bureau of Investigations is looking into it. They're trying to find any clues that may have been left behind. What we do know is that there was some burnt clothing left there, but no ID on the victim, no word on any suspects. The big question right now is, how could something like this happen in such a popular, iconic spot? And we don't have that answer, but when we do, we'll bring it to you live on Fox Local or on the fox5atlanta.com. You can also follow us on social media. We post our articles in real time. So now, bringing it back into the studio, that's what's happening in our headlines, but there are a lot of events that are happening around the Metro Atlanta area. Probably already noticed by now, it is a beautiful day. I want to pop you out to our reporter, Angelique Proctor, who's out at Old Fourth Ward, for the art festival for the spring. And it is the last day. Angelique, what's going on now?
Good afternoon, Jadea. If you are looking for something to do today in all of this beautiful weather, it is gorgeous out here. This is the place to be. This is the Old Fourth Ward Arts Festival. And I tell you, there is something for everyone here. We've got 70 vendors. I want to show you some of them doing all kinds of arts and crafts. A lot of creativity here, something for everyone, particularly if you're looking for Father's Day gifts. This would be a great place to come. We've got all kinds of paintings, woodwork, all types of things out here. And there are lots of families out here. This is also a very dog-friendly festival. We've seen some gorgeous dogs out here. We want to talk to one of the vendors. Those are magazine covers right there. They told me there's no paint involved. And this is custom keepsakes. We're going to be talking to Jamie. Tell me what you got going here, Jamie. I'm sure a lot of us have so many pictures on our cell phone that we've done nothing with.
That's right. So we like to take the photos off of your phone while you're here and make them into a custom keepsake. And we make them right here while you're shopping. It takes about 15-20 minutes. We make a variety of sizes, and they are amazing gifts. They are great for, your mantle, and we just try to rescue them off of the cloud. That is our goal, because we know everybody has all of their photos on their phones.
And they're actually making it happen right here. How long does it take?
It takes about 15 or 20 minutes, and we text you to pick it up, so you get to leave with it. This is actually a local dog from a lady that lives right around the corner.
Oh, wow. And we all have such memorable pictures on our phones, and we don't ever get to enjoy them.
I know. I mean, I think most people have about 200 in their favorites. The hardest part is picking your favorite picture. Yeah.
So this is definitely one of the many booths out here. And everything out here is free. Is this your first time being involved in this?
This is our first time at this festival, and it is amazing. It's beautiful out here.
And what about all the dogs that you've seen?
Oh my gosh, they have been amazing. In fact, we keep a little dog water bowl and a little dog station because there are so many dogs out here. Try to keep them cool.
Very good. Well, thank you so much, Janie. And here is somebody else. This is actually a pottery booth here, and this pottery is from North Carolina. These folks, boy, let's go over here and talk to Corey to find out. Corey, what have you brought here with
how's it going? I've got colonial early American pottery from mostly 1800s, and all my techniques are a lot of old German techniques. I live up in Asheville, and all the clay comes out of Appalachia.
Wow, so show us what you have here.
Absolutely. I got these soup mugs. People love these.
Oh,
soup. My wife loves hers for oatmeal, ice cream. Put them in the freezer for beer and wine, but they're great for soup.
Wow, they cover the gamut there,
yes,
huh?
Ma'am.
And what else do you have?
I've got these real pretty round vases. Yeah, more for like a dining room table. It's a little bit shorter, so you can still see your company over it. Yeah, those are beautiful. I've got my pretty lamps up front.
Oh, I've been hearing a lot of people asking about the lamps.
Yeah, people love those lamps. They're neutral, they're sleek, they go anywhere, they're timeless. Customers like how versatile they are.
Now tell us about the blue coral.
Yeah, so I'll add cobalt in the clay while it's spinning on the wheel. So whenever I'm kneading the clay before I turn it, I'll put cobalt in there, which goes on pink. But at 2,300 degrees, it changes blue in the firing.
Wow.
Yeah, isn't that neat?
That is very
Yes,
neat.
ma'am.
And you've got some bowls that folks can use?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Yeah, you could mix bread dough in here and throw the whole thing in the oven and bake the bread in the bowl. Because they're fired to 2,300, so 500 ain't nothing.
Wow.
Great for salad or even an ice bucket for chilling wine.
Very nice. And then
Yep.
your wife got in on the act. Tell me about the knitting.
Yeah, look at these. These are all 1800s designs too. So these little chickens, look at these. Isn't that sweet? She'll knit a baby's hat and then close it up, make a chicken out of it.
Wow.
Yes, ma'am. And then the bunnies are socks. She'll knit a sock and alter it to make the bunny out of it.
We gotta love that. And
Yeah.
hot pink, that's perfect. And what
Oh,
about
yeah.
these up here?
These are inspired by early American rugs. Yeah.
And that goes on your wall.
Yes, ma'am. Hanging on the wall like a painting. Isn't that pretty? And our oldest son makes these. He's 10.
Wow, you got the whole family
Yes,
in
ma'am.
on the
Yeah,
act.
that's
I
true.
love it. And I was asking you if your parents did this.
Everybody in my family can make things. I was the first one to take the pottery, but everybody could weld or braid or blacksmith or leather work. So crafty bunch.
That
Yep.
is the beauty of this festival. Now, we do have
Yeah.
one piece here that isn't part of your display. Look at that. Judea, take a close look there. Who is that in that ice cream cone there?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Angelique, that's so cute.
So I got my own, thank you, my own bobblehead was made here this afternoon. There is really something for everyone out here. Lots of food, lots of fun. Bring the whole family. And the great thing, it's free. And we, of course, are on the Beltline. There's so much going on down here. So many people. You definitely want to get out here before 5 o'clock. This is day 2. Lots of people. Keep in mind, a lot of this artwork is unique. This is individual art that, there's one of a kind for a whole lot of this out here. So you definitely want to come on out to this Old Fourth Ward Arts Festival and enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. And we don't want to forget that it is, in fact, dog friendly. So bring your pet, bring your mom, bring your grandmom, everybody to have some fun and enjoy all of this beautiful weather that we're having out here today. Judea?
Angelique, first of all, I have to say, I have had so much fun watching you walk through and talk to all of the vendors. I can only imagine what it's like when you actually get out there. I mean, this place seems like it is an artist's dream and an artist lover's paradise. There's something, like you said, for everyone, family friendly. Beautiful. Thank you so much for bringing us through this. Now, I do want to tell everybody out there who's watching, I hope you can get out there before 5 p.m., But if you can't, although this is the last day for the Spring Arts Festival, there is an Old Fourth Ward Fall Festival, and that goes on from September 27th to the 28th. So hopefully you can soak up some of that beautiful sun and, feel it on your skin. Have some good food out there. Speaking of the sun and the beautiful weather, let's pop it over to Fox 5 Storm Team meteorologist Alex Forbes, because I want to know just how long this sun is going to stay with us.
Yeah, Judea, as we work our way into the afternoon, I think we're going to see a lot of luck in keeping the sunshine around. The only thing is that it's going to be a little filtered thanks to that wildfire smoke that we have sitting above the city this afternoon. So that smoke is all the way from Canada. No, it's not close to the ground, and that's an important delineation because that means if you're sensitive, I should say, to things of that variety, we're not necessarily looking at health impacts today. Temperature now of 78 here in the city, and as we take a look at this through the next several hours, it is going to continue to warm up. If somebody in Troup County could please let me know whether or not it is okay down there. It is now registering 119 degrees in LaGrange. I don't think that's accurate, but let's just double check. 77 in Thomaston, 79 in Eatonton, 78 in Athens, 75 in Gainesville, and 71 in Blairsville. Those weather sensors, they're just having a fun time this morning. Fox 5 Live Viper is all quiet across the area. We are on the lookout, though, for a couple of scattered showers through the afternoon, and any scattered shower activity we see is going to fall on top of almost 7 inches of rain that we saw during the month of May. If that sounds like a lot, it is a lot. That's 3.5 inches above average officially at Hartsfield-Jackson. Of course, other areas saw higher numbers through the course of the month. It's just that that's that one particular spot there at the airport. So temperatures climbing into the low 80s through the afternoon. Looking for a high temperature in Atlanta today around 82, 82 in Canton. I promise 82 in LaGrange, not 119. 79 in Carrollton and 83 over in Thomaston through the day today. And as we check out the numbers over the next several days, today is actually going to be the coolest over the next 7. Not exactly cool outside, but the coolest as we steadily warm up into the month of June and that humidity builds back in. Then for tonight, getting down to 63, some spots as cool as 54. We're going to see any cloud cover we have really begin to clear. We'll see some breaks in the smoke, and yes, we will have the chance to see some northern lights across the area. So let's check it out here as we check out that satellite and radar. Not a lot going on, 82 today. So we've got a lot that we're keeping an eye on here on the Fox 5 Storm Center. Let me see if I can hit those northern lights real quick and punch that up. Here we go. So we've got a G4 geomagnetic storm happening basically around Earth. And what that means is Earth is moving through basically a solar flare that was released from the sun yesterday. And the result is the possibility of seeing northern lights. So on a scale of 1 to 9, we're running about a 6 to a 7 to an 8. And when we get to that 7.67, that puts us in a G4 range. And that is when we are on the cusp of being able to see things here in northern Georgia. If you got friends in places like New York, Minnesota, Michigan, Washington State, Montana, Utah, slam dunk for them. They're going to see northern lights tonight. We are going to be right here on the edge in northern Georgia. So here are a couple of the possible scenarios, right? If it's a little weaker than anticipated, then we're not going to see anything no matter your proximity to city lights or away from city lights. But because we're right there on the edge, there is a world where maybe you're only able to see something on your camera away from city lights and you can't see anything close to the city at all. Or maybe there's a world where you can see with your eyes and with your camera the auroras away from the city lights, but only on your camera close to the city. That's going to be kind of the range. You'll see it on your camera first, and then you'll see it second. And then if we blow this out of the water and get to a G5, which is what we saw last May, then there is a world where we just don't even account for the city lights. You'll be able to see it no matter what. All right, so here's your Fox 5 Storm Team forecast now. Once we get through the auroras tonight, maybe, possibility, not a slam dunk. 85 tomorrow, 87 for Tuesday, and then Judea as we work our way towards the middle part of the week. That humidity building back in, and we'll have a 30 to 40% chance of some showers and storms by the time we get to Friday and Saturday.
Thank you so much, Alex. We need to bring it back into the newsroom because we just got some breaking news that I want to tell you all about. The burned body that was found on the very top of Stone Mountain Park, officials have now let us know that that is considered a suicide. So based on a note that was provided to the Stone Mountain Park Police by a parent of the person who was found dead, that person did take their own life. The note was specific about the method, the location, all of that. And so we do know a little bit more information about that person as well. They were Hey guys, welcome to Casting Call. My name is Judea Murray. This is Tess Hammond.
Hello, good morning.
If this is your first time streaming with us, the whole purpose of the show is to make sure you can get booked, you stay busy, and
get that bag.
Get paid.
Get that bag.
So we have a couple of different casting calls to talk about.
We do.
Get you guys some jobs. Let's start with this first one.
Yes.
Real interesting title.
This one's really fun. So this is an independent film. I know